Oh yeah, that one.
Well, we're live. Everyone heard that. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're live. We are live now, though. So, hello,
so
everyone.
definitely strawberry. I think.
I would say.
I mean, like if you get like one of the really big ones,
lemon.
Peach. Peach is a little.
The only way that would be feasible is if you were fucking the whole carton of strawberries. And if we're doing whole cartons, then I don't know, maybe blueberries.
Nah,
you don't want that. Why is no one mentioning grapefruit? There's literally a whole video essay on this.
Because that requires a second player.
Oh my god. So I looked up a website.
No.
And it's a list top 30. There's stuff like apples and coconuts and oranges, but the top 3 are watermelon, grapefruit, and Elton John.
Alright.
Actually sleeping on bananas, so...
What? With that, why don't we go to get started? I still don't have the overlay fixed, by the way, but we'll figure it out for the next time. The problem is that 4 boxes is easy to arrange, but figuring out how to do 5, that's a little tougher. So
sweet.
I'll probably do it like at the top, have all in a row, and then below that, I don't know. We'll see.
You should rip yourself out, put yourself in the corner, and then just put Logan in your spot.
Yeah, or I guess that's true. I could just join the group, and then we have 6, and that's easier to do it in a couple columns or something. But yeah, hello everyone. It's been a few weeks. It's been 3 weeks, I think. So it's been a little bit, that's for sure. But we are back with D&D. So, why don't we begin with a recap of what happened last time?
That's a great question.
Actually, I'm realizing now, Logan. Wait, Logan, this is your 3rd session, right? Yeah. Yeah,
yes.
I never even explained it, but generally I have the players do the recap, where I'll pitch in here and there, because I like to hear what you guys remember, because then I don't want to color it with my perceptions of how a session went and what happened.
Okay.
But then you have these ones where it's been so long.
Yeah.
It'll come back to me when someone else says what happened, but I'm blanking.
So, it wasn't super eventful. We finished up our fight, we beat the absolute fuck out of the Ankh Queen, and then we had a feast. It was pretty straightforward of a session.
Yeah, we got loot.
One thing happened, and then another thing happened.
We told some miners to leave, and then they definitely left and made it all the way back home safely.
Totally.
Exactly.
And there was, let's see, Hingwis had his father, his kind of adoptive father or mentor figure revived, and it's a fire giant. And the fire giant basically said that he's willing to help kind of set up a forge in the town here.
Yeah, he said he's gonna make me a cool bow.
And what else? I think it was about it. Yeah, it was mainly just finishing the fight, and then told those dwarves to fuck off, and then that was definitely the only thing that happened with the dwarves. And and then you guys had a big celebration. So I know that the plan was to maybe spend a little bit of time here getting stuff set up, right? Like defenses and stuff like that. And so I'm assuming that would be a couple weeks worth of time then? Okay. In that time, I'm sure that there would be, stuff you guys would have going on. For instance, you guys would... you guys did level up, right? Yeah. So...
Did we go to 16 or are we at 15?
16.
16 now, yeah.
Whoops. Okay, well I'm gonna do that while we build the forts.
Yeah, well I think 16 is the easy
Fortnite.
one. I think because isn't it just a...
Yeah, but I was gonna look at feet.
Oh yeah. Okay, well look at that. Yeah. So So yeah, so I imagine that lots of people here would have different stuff they'd be working on. For instance, like Talvo is actually going to get a couple new abilities from leveling up from a feat, and I imagine that maybe it's like this is when you kind of are practicing with these new abilities and training and. Yeah, and also TSM. I meant to actually respond to you, but
Okay.
we could say about the last thing that you said about that.
Yeah.
Then I feel like maybe it could even just be like a little tinkering that the fire giant would have done to your blade to make that last.
Okay, I like that.
Like just a tiny little modification. You can flavor it kind of how you want with that.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, Hingwis, I imagine, going to be kind of like getting his body up to speed, seeing as he, even though he was kind of pumped up with magic to be able to fight in the battle, he probably had like after the party, he had like a wave of exhaustion that probably hit him from.
Oh yeah, when the adrenaline finally wore off, dude.
Exactly.
Felt it.
Yeah. So he probably spent several days. He probably like literally like sleeps a couple days straight, and then probably
It's
starts
his
getting back to
occupational therapy arc. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's see. Then there is. I'm curious what some of the others would do, like Bree and Helios. What would you guys be working on?
I also have a question about feet.
About feet? Oh,
Not for free.
Oh, nice.
No.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, what's up about the feet?
Because I added like the 2 con because I didn't realize that the feet was an option, and
yeah.
So could I do that instead of that?
Yeah. Well, so you wanted to do a feat instead of the two constitution?
Yeah, I was told one when we last did this, and I forgot what it was.
Yeah. So yeah, you could do that. You're saying you had one that you in mind? You don't remember it?
Somebody mentioned one.
I thought we would
Last
maybe it
session.
was Warcaster or something like that.
Yeah, I think.
Warcaster is really good. I highly recommend it if you do a lot of casting and have to constantly, well, not constantly, occasionally deal with concentration.
Yeah, you have advantage on con saves for constitution or for concentration.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
And you can cast a spell as an opportunity attack. Which is pretty good.
In other words, like normally you have to be able to like. Normally for opportunity attacks, you have to have like a melee weapon that you smack someone with. But this is saying you could do like your primal claws attack or whatever it is as an opportunity attack.
Yeah, I'd like that, please.
Yeah, I mean that does seem good for you. So okay, yeah. So then you should just be able to change your con back down, right? And then it should just automatically apply.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I level up or not.
What does the little
16?
number at the top of your screen say?
Oh, that's a good point. 16.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I imagine that maybe that's what Bree is working on during this time, kind of like practicing and training, right?
Don't I just like do the plus and add it to my feats?
Yeah. You might have to like manually put it in, and then and then for some of the stuff like the advantage, you'll just have to remember that. But yeah.
I imagine Bree training for that beat being that scene from Kung Pao where they just beat on him with sticks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's see. What else? What else? What would Adau be working on? And then Helios, you'd be thinking too. What would you two be working on in this time frame of a few weeks?
A few weeks.
Well, yeah, I imagine it would be a couple weeks, right? So that get everything in order in the town and stuff. So.
Yeah, I would definitely be speed running, shoring up defenses.
Okay.
Like at least a palisade.
Okay.
Maybe if we've got someone with move earth or meld stone or whatever it is.
Well,
I mean, they're 2 different spells. We can have something better. The Valheim Stonewall. But and then definitely want to talk to Hatefather's son.
Okay. We can get to that in a bit, like if whatever specific things you would ask him. What
Get
about
him to teach you giant.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
true,
It's
yes.
like learning posh English instead of Australian English.
Yeah, you have like another giant to practice with. I guess you were practicing with like the ogres and stuff because they also speak giant. And Helios, would you be working on this time?
So I'm trying to think. So like our plan is to go to that college next, right? Or up that area. I don't really know what I would do to help here, other than I would just entertain the masses.
Okay, I mean, yeah, you could just be working on music, like literally that, like composing new songs.
Right.
Yeah, that works. Nice, kitty. Yeah, you could be just working on new songs, Helios. That would work. Yeah. Here's a question I have though. So as you're kind of settling in. So Rolagur is right on this. Here, let me like make a better mark of where it is. So this is the Fine Castle. It's basically right.
We are still on the castle map.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. That is by design, but because there's something new.
In world building, do we just see like a giant like off in the distance on the map whenever like you point something out?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like a beacon
there's
in the
giant
distance.
ping. Okay, hold on. Give me a second here. I did a little bit of world building, but so for instance, some of the places in this area. Hold on, some of the places in the area now have names. So
Fucker
for
Island.
instance,
I will be right back, lads.
okay. So. Rolagur is this little blue dot here, by the way. Rolagur is this little blue dot, and I've now given names to these dwarven cities nearby. I still don't have one for this one, but it's fine. So, the reason I'm bringing this up, though, is because so Rolagur is here, and there is like a road that passes right by Rolagur. It doesn't pass through Rolagur, but it passes by, and then there's a little side road that goes it's literally just like a few miles, detour to Rolagur. And it's still convenient enough that most of the time caravans or people traveling through the mountains will, take the couple extra miles of travel to go to stay in Rolagur, or they would in the past, right? Not recently, as it's been safe recently, because of the vampires. However, there is also another path branching off, right? There's a crossroads, a four-way crossroads, right at kind of like the seam of those two tiles on the map. And the other way goes to Adau, which is a small dwarven city. It's I say small, but it's still, it's big enough to be on the map. It is like roughly the size of Gabagard, right? Adau is roughly the size of Gabagard, and is part of the kingdom here of dwarves. Both of these cities are part of the same kingdom. Which I guess we could draw here. Hold on.
Yes, I love having more nationalities on the map. It's not nationalities, it's nations. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
More
Logan has a saying, whenever we mess up the, specific grammatical, structure of a sentence, he'll be like, "Did you understand me?" And I'll be like, "Yes." And I'll be like, "Then it's English."
That's true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's this kingdom of dwarves here. That is kind of a rival of the ones in the south, although they're not like really butting heads often, right? And actually these ones are the ones that are even more so than Dupegard and the kingdom there. The dwarves of the south, they are actually they've kind of started like conquering nearby areas. Like this city here is like a human city primarily, but it was conquered. And they kind of they do take slaves in warfare, but and they put them to work in the mines, but they're not like slavers like the whole way through. Like that's not all they do, right? The ones up here are much actually more like of the slaving type. Like again, they both take slaves, but these guys up here kind of make a business out of it. They don't really have much of a aim to conquer. They just will send raiding parties out into like nearby towns just to get slaves, and then that's it. Sometimes they'll put the slaves to work in the mines. Other times they'll literally just take them from like one side of the mountain range to the other and sell them in the cities there, right? So they are like the real kind of slaving scum. In fact, if you guys read the little short story that TSM and Logan worked on, I think it would make sense to say that these dwarves are the ones that Hingwis was talking about. If anyone did read that, that he has interacted with. So, with that being said, the trade route that passes right over the mountains is actually a pretty common place to find, well, again, merchants and travelers going from one side of the mountains to the other. But also, it happens to be an area where lots of times these slavers are passing through after their raiding parties. So here's my question for you guys. All that to say that I'm sure that is something that might be a target for you guys, is trying to like target these slaving caravans. But is that something that, like, while you have downtime, that you guys would start working on right away, or are you going to wait till you're established? Like, what is your plan going to be with your new neighbors, these dwarven neighbors, right? That are much closer than the other dwarves are.
I mean, I'm along for the ride, so city builders here. I'll let you take the wheel on the domestic relations of our neighbors.
Yeah, if I had known that last time, I definitely would have been more active in planning and, with that regard, rather than, oh, well, I'll go up there and see if there's any, buddy that would come with us and, move. I don't think they're that kind of kingdom.
No, that's good, yeah.
So, yeah. So with that in mind, maybe, I'm sure you said there's like a village per tile, essentially, so maybe I would look either to find information about currently active trading, like caravans that are returning with slaves, or I'll go to some of those villages and maybe change administration in the magistrate and free slaves there and allow them to either come back or go home or whatever.
Yeah.
I only have maybe one or two of those, I'd bet. Well, in a few weeks, maybe 3.
Okay.
But that's what I would plan if the party doesn't object.
I mean,
Work for me.
yeah, that's like fine. I wouldn't want to start
do anything
advertising.
big.
I wouldn't want to start advertising ourselves until
We
were
We're
pretty
ready.
well established.
They didn't come here. They didn't come here when they thought it was vampires abducting their people. So
Oh man, that's
Maybe we,
up the billboard.
yeah. So maybe we
pretend we're
use that to our
vampires.
advantage. And we
Also-
could do that, or we
Yeah,
could just not leave any trace of our existence.
Everybody, we have a daytime curfew. Everybody only comes out at night.
I unironically think that's a good idea. I think I'll do. I will stick to that plan. Actually, only go out at night and abduct people. Maybe put a few pinpricks in necks with a dagger, just to bury the lead. That doesn't make any sense. But throw them off our trail, red
Okay.
herring them.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I can make people disappear.
Sounds good. So sounds like the plan is, try to maybe start causing problems for the Dwarven Kingdom, their slaving caravans, but not necessarily try to be super obvious about it.
Yeah, we can't
definitely
go
don't want
Gabagard.
We also don't want to cause so much trouble that they think it's an unsafe route and they start taking a different way.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, they might have been doing that, but well, yeah, and actually, yeah, that's fine.
So part of the thing that Hingwis mentioned in his part of the story was that I like was the idea that he was traded to the vampires for a truce. They actually have.
Yep, you're right.
They kind of had an uneasy truce with the vampires, where they kind of left each other alone. So that's part of why they do have this trade route, that they're more willing to go on, even though they knew there were vampires there.
Fair. Okay, well then, that doesn't help us. That I don't know how the vampires acted, but yeah, I should have paid attention to that line. I believe it was one line in dialogue to Talvo.
But I think I liked that idea, so I rolled with it. That the dwarves and the kind of just left the vampires alone. It wasn't worth their trouble to go and kick them out. So they kind of like, gave them tribute every once in a while.
Tribute every once in a while.
Well, like just occasionally.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I guess I'll go through with the plan. Anyway.
All right. So doing like a little bit of sabotage to their slaving caravans.
Yeah, if by sabotage you mean slaughter and taking all the slaves.
Yeah.
So they're freeing the slaves.
I'm assuming most of the party would be cool with that too. So we'll say that like I imagine that like it might be one of those things where maybe Bree actually can kind of start talking to some of like the local animals and stuff, because Bree can do that. Bree could talk to the animals and be like, "Hey, let us know if there's a group of people passing by on the road. That's a few miles away."
The animal cult.
And that way, like, some crows will come and flock and be like, "Rah," and tell you when there's a group passing. And then, then I imagine maybe Talvo or Hingwis would, like, kind of go swiftly check it out. And if it's a normal caravan, just normal people, let it go. If it's a slaving caravan, then maybe you target them. So, does that sound about right, roughly?
Yes, I definitely let them go.
I do like I love the idea of the Hingwis Talvo strike force.
Yeah,
that is actually really good.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. As the first few days pass, there is definitely an air of optimism throughout the little town here. Most of which is just your dudes, but then there's the few people who survived and who you rescued from the vampires. After probably maybe 5 or 6 days, there would actually be a slaving caravan that passes through, and luckily it is you guys would have the like total element of surprise there. So we don't even need to like go through it. Basically, you guys would basically just fall upon these dwarves and completely destroy them. And you would notice that they have that it was a group of slaves, from like the eastern side of the mountain range. And what it looks like is actually, you would ask the slaves afterwards, and they would tell you that they were part of like a normal merchant caravan that then just got attacked by these dwarves. So, so like, and you would kind of get the vibe that this is a regular thing, that these dwarves basically just attack anyone who they don't have like an active alliance with.
Oh, that could be some cool coin. Well, no, I'm just saying like we've been securing this like as like a trade route across the mountains for like traders and merchants out of Pune trying to hit the eastern seaboard. They'd probably be happy to know that they could send caravans through and not be kidnapped and turned into slaves.
Yeah, you definitely get the vibe that this is like this is a dangerous trade route recently, and so anyone who takes it right now is kind of desperate or like, is like willing to take the risk. This trade route has seen better days, but yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw a freehand in bright color cyan. So the route goes something like this, and then this goes like off that way.
Well, yeah, but it's like more like this.
We're not talking about this.
We're talking about this.
It's like that, basically.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Still though.
Yeah.
We could project force on there.
This is you guys, right? And it's basically like right there is where the route.
Playing fucking.
I could draw it.
You're playing map game.
I'll draw the route for you.
Yeah. I will turn this into EU4. I will play EU4.
Yeah. Yeah, like the trade route kind of goes like right through to here, basically.
All right.
And there's the road going up to the dwarves, the road coming down to Rolager. As much closer.
All right. Cool. All right. That worked. Yeah. Good. Picked.
It's moving.
Okay.
Good.
Cool, good.
So the so like for this first group of slaves, most of them would basically ask if you could like. They would actually ask you, and they would basically tell you that you could have like all the stuff that was stolen from them by the dwarves, as long as you give them like protection out of the mountains or a little ways. Is that something you'd be willing to give them?
Yeah, sure.
Most of them just want to like give back home or whatever, right?
Yeah, because I mean they were just taken.
Yeah.
So.
A couple of them might actually be willing to, like, a couple of them would say that they'd be willing to work for you, because a couple of them would have been like mercenary, like kind of caravan guards, who were just overwhelmed by numbers and force of the dwarves. So
yeah,
some of them would be willing to come work with you guys, but yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the option we'll pose. Say, like to anybody, at least in the general, the general doctrine that we have, if you will, is hey, if you want to come work with us, we will pay you and give you somewhere to live and feed you. There are no benefits, and it's a right-to-work state that we founded.
We're a family here.
Yeah,
Also,
without unionizing, we will kill your family. However, it's a good arrangement. And then if the rest want to leave,
unionize.
I do also want to distribute the Cool Ranch jerky to the merchants. And be like,
Oh my
hey,
God.
just so you know.
Yeah, the Cool Ranch jerky is going to be.
yeah, if this changes your mind.
You can only buy it here.
Well, it's not even like so. I mean, the good thing is that like this caravan, they'll let you know that like I don't know if the owner of the caravan would necessarily be with it, right? It might just be some like a caravan he sent out, like organized. But they would let you know, like, oh, like now that we know that Roliger is safe once again, we'll stop by and bring our business here when we come through.
All good capital
nice.
cities have a signature cuisine, and ours is going to be Cool Ranch.
Yeah.
Pretty good, yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, and over the next couple like weeks or whatever that you're spending here, this will probably happen a couple more times. So much, and you kind of get a feel for the these dwarven raiding caravans. They don't seem like they actually are that hard to take by surprise. Like they're mostly expecting like maybe some hill ogres and trolls or something, right? They're not really expecting to come under attack by organized forces, which is why, every time it's kind of easy once you organize a response, organize a little strike team. And so I imagine it might even be like you let some of your other guys get in there, not just the party themselves.
Yeah, they're not level 3 yet. They're still on XP.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, there would be some other stuff that happens in the meanwhile, though. First off, after a few days, there would be, and I think you said like Britsha, Bree has like the move stone or whatever the spell is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then, like Duncan was saying, then I'm assuming you'd be willing to use that to kind of help erect like some basic stone walls. I'll move her. Yeah. Okay, yeah, cool. And definitely, like the town itself, the main kind of core of it, you could definitely get kind of protected.
This is only earthen, though. This doesn't manipulate stone, this spell.
Oh, okay. I guess it would just be earthen barricades. Or earthen...
Yeah, but you can have you've played Total War. You know, you've got the earthen with the wooden barricades.
Yeah. So it's better than nothing.
You can also just dig a moat, too.
That's true, yeah. You could...
We do have a fucking mine here, so it's not like we're wanting 4 stone if we want to assemble walls.
Yeah, it'll just take time for the more...
It'll take a lot of time and a lot of manpower.
walls, let's go!
Oh my... Dude, that would be sick as hell, though.
Yeah.
We're on a cliffside! We turned the whole cliff anyway.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, that's the other thing I meant to mention, by the way, is that the mines are actually... While this kind of work is going on the surface... The mines are going to take a while to fully explore, because it seems like basically what they did is they just set the Ankegs loose to burrow, and then they would kind of go and pick through afterwards. So the mines aren't really laid out in a very, like, easy to map way, right? So like the whole, and it goes much deeper and wider than you guys actually expected. So like, you know, you explored, obviously after you killed all the vampires and stuff, you kind of explored all the cave system near the surface, but the actual mines where they got the ice flick from go very deep and far. So it's honestly one of those things where it'll take weeks, if not months, to kind of fully chart and map out the whole mining system. In fact, they haven't even still found where there was the ice flick heart that you guys found, right? That Valeria had. Because presumably it was from a particularly dense and rich knot of ice flick or a vein. They haven't even figured out where that was from yet.
I don't think I would want to like set about doing while we were doing all this like town setting up is find an area in the mines to kind of use like a panic room. Like if we were to be attacked, it's some place that everyone knows to go to.
Okay.
Not even
they're
that.
not-
We could set up a ton of. We could turn it.
Well,
I mean,
there's the
You've
castle
heard-
too, the fort, the keep, right? And
that's true.
And it links to the tunnels, so yeah.
Yeah, but wasn't the keep like not that big and impressive?
No, not really,
Wasn't
but
it,
it's
wasn't that kind
yeah.
of lame?
it's fairly
But we don't have that
small.
many people here. But
It's,
But the thing is,
yeah.
so if it links to the tunnels, then of course, yeah, people head there. But if you want to truly besiege this settlement, you now have to send the GIs down into the murder holes, basically, like the vampires did to us with the stone and the Yankegs the Umber Hulks burying out of the walls.
Mhm.
We can do shit like that now. Have fun getting the entire population, you moron.
Okay, so you start kind of like rigging up the traps in your favor now.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, like that again. At this point, it kind of comes down to like your biggest limiting factor here is you have like resources and stuff like that. You have defensive capabilities on your hands. The biggest thing comes down to labor. You guys just don't have. You have a couple hundred people now in your whole group, but you know you're trying to do a lot of stuff at once. Explore the mines, set up the traps, refortify the keep, make a new wall for the town. Right, that's a lot of stuff to have going on. So it's going to take time. So, anyways, so you can wall of stone.
Oh shit.
You
Oh,
can
shit, look at that.
truly
You-
shape the wall to create
If you maintain
Where'd that go?
concentration, it becomes
crenellations, battlements, and so on.
Okay. So this is
That's
something
pretty crazy.
that is cool. So that would definitely help. It's that's one of those things where it only takes 10 minutes, so you could do that however many slots per day you have, and then
Yeah.
it's 6 inches thick, which isn't like super crazy, but yeah, you
5 times a day, though?
kind
That's
of
pretty
keep
good.
layering it too. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, you could definitely. So yeah, okay. So you do have a way of kind of like you could use both of the. You know, you can use the earth stuff where necessary, and also the stone stuff to kind of start putting in basic stone parts that
I
can
can do
be
it 5
reinforced.
times a day
Yeah. Okay.
if I use all the spell slots.
Yeah. So, and it's like 10 feet by 10 feet. So you can basically have a 10-foot wall, 50 feet wide in one day. So yeah, that's actually pretty significant. And then well, that's the thing too, is that you can kind of put the basic wall, and then as people bring stone up from the mines, you can start reinforcing it, right, making it taller and wider. So the what was I say? Yeah, so you definitely there will be a lot of stuff going on. The town is very bustling, very bussing.
It's Boston.
And
mhm.
yeah, about a weekend, so a few days after the first kind of like caravan slaving strike, there would be not the alarm bell, but just like a kind of like a bell rung to let you know that someone is here at the like gate, the kind of hastily constructed gate that you have at the front of the town. I'm assuming you would go and see who it is.
Who goes
Yeah,
and
yeah.
answers it?
Mm-hmm. And as you go up, you're kind of expecting maybe it's another group of dwarves or something. In fact, it is a singular person. It is a singular person who is a human, dressed in like fine but not overly extravagant clothes. very high quality clothes with like a feathered cap on, and he's carrying like a satchel, and seems to just be and it seems to basically be waiting, and kind of has a very like you know. You're just gonna make him dance and then firestorm right away. Yeah. So this guy is sitting here at the gate, and you guys can like poke your head up over like the wall.
I'll walk out, and maybe flanked by, or that Duncan and Eshmunazar.
Yeah, he as you kind of walk out, you size him up, and he does not seem to be really a fighting type. He has a rapier on his belt, but it seems like mostly decorative, or kind of like a last resort sort of thing. As you step out, Adau, he literally bows. He takes a bow to you.
A bow to Adau, huh?
Yeah. That's never happened before. So I guess I wouldn't know what to do, but I would give him a shitty one in return, not intentionally, but because I just don't know how to bow correctly.
Okay. He doesn't really seem like he cares. If anything, he's he kind of does a very he does a second bow because
how many times can we get him to do this?
He wasn't expecting you to bow to him, and you can kind of tell that he basically is trying to, appeal to you.
Wants to Adau and keep bowing. No.
And then he kind of speaks up and he says, "Do I have the pleasure of addressing Adau?
You do.
Originally of Fluria?"
That is correct. Have you traveled from there to here to seek me out?
He shakes his head. He's like, "No, I am in fact from Iltu Silva myself. But I have heard of your group, and I wish to present myself to you all."
Hey, yo.
He whips out his cock.
Present yourself.
Present myself.
Hey, man.
Hey,
I'm a man of God.
So I'm assuming. So Adau walked out. The rest of you guys kind of inside the walls, peeking around the corner,
Yeah, he's pulling his cock out.
Mods, pull this guy's cock out.
He
hang back and watch.
He kind of waits to see if you say anything, Adau.
Well, do I notice anything about his body language, or perhaps in his tone of voice?
Well,
roll me an insight check.
Bree.
Whoa, why was that so loud?
I don't know. Peter's check.
He does. So he's wearing what you would say are what you could call clothes of an academic.
Okay.
Nerd.
He's a nerd, basically. Yeah. Also, he would definitely be speaking a little bit more flamboyantly than I have been. He'd be more like I indeed am here.
I am here.
All right, that definitely changes the character.
Oh, Dreg's coming back to the campaign.
Yeah. I gotta remember. So I meant to do a voice for it, but yeah. So now I gotta remember. Just assume that he had that accent the whole time so far.
Okay.
He's like, "Do I speak to the illustrious Adau of Fluria?" Basically, is how we can speak.
I'm mocking him in the distance.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah, fuck it. I hear all of you snickering on the wall. I have to try not to laugh.
Adau's got a boyfriend.
But anyway, so he's come from Iltu Silva. So, how have you made it here unharmed? Then, I mean, it's a dangerous road. At least it was until a few days or a week ago or so. When we cleared it out, or did you begin your travels before then, in an attempt to, contact us at risk?
I did not know that you were here, but when I arrived in Pune, I hired some armed guards to bring me here. They split off from me at the crossroads. I assumed I would be safe.
Well, you assumed correctly. What business do you have with us?
I apologize. My name is Shaska.
Spelled how I think it is.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, it may seem rather presumptuous or bold, but I am a chronicler by trade. One who dabbles in the art of diplomacy and history. And
Okay.
your deeds have traveled far. No doubt in part because of your highly skilled bard, Helios. I've heard a few of his songs, although I yearn to hear them from the original source.
Well, I will look up at the wall and see that Helios is no longer there and be like, well, that you just missed him.
You went to take a piss, yeah.
Yeah.
He nods and he's like, and I mean no disrespect when I say this, but word of your deeds and chronicles of your deeds that would stand the test of time forever is something that, well, let's just say I don't know if you have a chronicler already, but it has been my life's mission to find deeds made by history makers. And if you would have me, I offer my services to you.
Okay. Well, first thing, come on into the town. Of course, it's safer, but it's also much more hospitable than standing in the wilderness. And then we can discuss further, of course.
Yeah. And he would nod and he would come on in, and as he does so, he sees the other party members who are kind of watching and listening, and he recognizes everyone except for Hingwis. He would be like, "And you, I have not heard of your deeds yet, but
You will. Don't worry.
He sizes you up with your reptilian wings and stuff. He's like, "I'm sure I will."
Does he recognize Bree's rats?
Yeah, yeah. He's like, "Oh, and these are." He goes like, "I believe these are Funkus and Blunkus," but then he points to the wrong one
Backflipping
for
raps.
each. He points to the wrong one for each. So he does know their names, but he doesn't know which
Big
one
fan.
is which. Yeah. I'm curious what Bree's reaction is to that.
I'm more just excited that he knew their names. but
Yeah. If anything,
I'll
the
let him
rats
off
are
that
too.
you
The
don't
rats have never been recognized like this. I'm like, ah! And they don't want to make him feel bad because they're very flattered. So they actually crawl around and switch shoulders real quick so that he actually got it right.
Yeah.
And
Wonderful.
and yeah, so you guys can walk inside with him, and he kind of basically tells you a little bit of his life story. He tells you that he's maybe in his early 30s. But he is he's a chronicler. He is trained in the art of diplomacy and history. He was at the Bard's College in Il Tu Silva, the one that Helios got an invitation from. The Quiet Conservatory is what it's called. Because the college there is mainly a Bard's College, but it also has other kind of aspects too. And one of them is it's not just music, right? There's other elements, bards can also mean town criers and messengers and announcers, right? People that you need in a court, basically, right? So lots of times people go there from richer families, get sent there for training in courtly matters, and then they go to different courts of different kingdoms across the land, or different duchies and counts, right? And that's where a lot of that is. A lot of them are trained in that college. It's not the only one, but it is the biggest one in this area.
Everything
So,
backpackers
yeah.
by the TV.
So he basically would tell you that he would tell you he's not really a musician himself, but a lot of the people at the college aren't necessarily. A lot of them are just also bards also preserve history in the form of song, but there's also plenty of chroniclers who work at the Bard's College who preserve it in manuscript and whatever. So he would tell you though that he would let you know that he doesn't intend he once you guys get up to the to like a more private area. He would tell you, he's like, I don't intend to ask just to stay for free. I intend to put myself to work. I do know quite a bit about treaty making and matters of even espionage, should you require my advice. I can advise you on many such matters.
Okay.
Is there anything cool you could do once every 6 seconds?
I mean, well, yes. That is a good. You're on the right track.
You look over his head.
That I would ask.
You look over his head, and there's a bunch of icons, but they all say passive benefits.
Damn. That is good though.
Bops are bops.
He kind of unprompted, like as you guys are kind of like, you definitely. I mean, I imagine Talvo might actually maybe not want to ask it like that, but he'd basically be like, "Yo, could you help out in combat or all and stuff?" And he's like, he would definitely say like, "I am not really equipped for such matters." And then seeing that maybe sensing that there's a little bit of disappointment there, he would say, but I will try to make myself useful in all ways. For instance, although I am not much one for gathering rumors, I thought that this would be of use to you. And he pulls out a poster. And Adau, you see your father's face on this poster. It's a wanted poster. And he places it on the table here or whatever, and he's like, when I decided to set out to meet you all in Pune and then here, I figured that this would be useful, and I imagine maybe you already had heard of this, but and as he's kind of saying where he found it, and it was basically just in some seedy tavern in Il Tu Silva. While he's kind of saying this, you guys are all kind of looking over the poster, I imagine. And Talvo and Hingwis, the two of you notice something. Which is that around the edges of the poster, there's kind of a little pattern. And kind of hidden within the pattern is a thieves' camp message. And it says, double the reward if brought alive. Bring him to dawn over the
years.
river.
And thieves' camp is finally useful.
Yeah. So it says we need him, it says we need him alive. Double bounty if you bring him alive. Basically, bring him to dawn over the river. Whereas the what's it called? The poster itself actually is from the city itself, it seems. But there's also a message from dawn over the river. So,
well, I of course do not notice that.
Yeah.
But...
And
the crimes listed, by the way, it does list a crime, or rather, it kind of doesn't, but it just says crimes against the people of Il Tu Silva.
Ah, wonderful.
So, anyways, so as he's talking, he would basically, as he's kind of talking about this, he would say, I also bring information about an ally of yours, Locke, daughter of Kurbak. There are rumors.
Oh, yeah.
There are rumors that I heard from sources I believe to be quite reputable, that she intends to war against the smaller states around the forest of Unudu.
Like Ugodi? Or...
Ugodi, and maybe even Shiloah, in retaliation for their strike and betrayal of her.
Well, fair enough.
He would say, I've also been trained, I also speak Dwarvish, and I'm more than willing to negotiate with your neighbors, the Vargoons. I'm sure you know about them.
Are they the Northerners or the Southerners?
He nods, and he would, And
the House of Vargood, or is that what you said?
He would say the Vargoons. But yeah. So he would kind of drop this, which you guys wouldn't have even known their name necessarily. But the Vargoon family, or the Vargoon, the kingdom of the Vargoons is that one. And he could even tell you the name of the southern one too, which is, I gotta find it again now, the Eiksrugs. The Eiksrugs are the southern ones.
That's pretty epic.
I'm gonna pronounce that as elk rug.
Elk rugs.
Every
Elk
single
rugs.
time.
The elk rugs, yeah. Eiksrugs means so both of these are they both mean something, and now I forgot what they are. Hold on, let me find it. It's that. Oh god, where did I put it? Where did I put these notes? Here we go. Vargoon literally just means like of the mountains. Basically, the ones in the north literally just call themselves the mountain dwarves, right? Because they kind of like stick to their mountains. They're a little more isolationist. They don't really engage in diplomacy. They only just like raid for slaves. Whereas the southern ones are much more kind of like they're willing to negotiate with other people. They're willing to have alliances with other races and stuff if it brings in more resources. And, the ones in the south, their name, the Eiksrugs, means... Where did it go?
Elk rug.
It comes from Eik means oak, and Rug means ridge. So the Oaken Ridge, because a lot of the forests here are full of like oak trees and stuff.
And that tracks with like Oak Ridge is like the most generic town name ever.
Yeah,
in real
exactly.
life.
Do they have a
Like,
national
America.
laboratory there? Would you say?
Totally, yeah. No, but yeah, the Eiksrugs are more named for like the kind of like oaky forests and stuff that cover the hill and mountainsides. So, anyways, and he could kind of expand upon that. Like he not only have I recently come up with this, but it makes sense that he would be the first person that would actually know why they're called this. So like he kind of expounds this knowledge to you guys. And probably in character, your characters are like, oh god, like we don't need all this. But definitely, it seems like this diplomat kind of like knows what he's talking about when it comes to like knowing these kingdoms and their families and stuff. So
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, he's already made himself useful then. Not that we needed him to be. We can just have citizens, you know?
Oh, and yeah, that's the thing, is he basically just intends to, he would let you guys know that he can also kind of serve in your stead. They'll kind of like oversee stuff in the town when you guys are gone in your castle, right? He can kind of like serve that role of like not a regent.
Finally,
like
we needed another bard. I was like, Riley's in earshot.
I wouldn't trust Riley with one person, let alone a town.
Let alone
Yeah.
himself.
Well, like he's not saying that he would necessarily overtake all the directing, the construction, the military, but he's more like, you know, if someone comes by, he can speak on your behalf in a diplomatic sense, right? So,
Okay.
should you need him to, or trust him to. So
Yeah, it'll take
yeah.
maybe not a while, but you know.
Yeah. So, yeah. So he would, this would be like a week into the few weeks that you're going to be staying here. He would show up. In the meanwhile, like I said, work would be going on. Do you have any other questions for him or anything before?
Yes, the thing I wanted to do. So, I was thinking about, like, okay, so we're back in this part of the country here.
Yeah.
And I remember that there was the one wellspring, and then I saw their wild magic shit. And I want to be like, I wonder if there's any more. So I'm going to legend lore to be like, do people know other locations? Or
Okay.
other stories of more in this area?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say that's kind of like that's kind of a vague thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to get like a very clear answer. Well, what you do get is a sensation, a tingling sensation of magical energy, almost like such a source of magic. It feels nearby. It feels like there is something nearby.
Do I know how many? my spidey sense 27 miles away that direction.
You know,
Or like,
well,
how
again,
is the-
because it's not like a specific object that you're holding forward and using this on, it's more general, and you can't quite pinpoint it. But
So I got a literal
be
vibe
willing
check
to
from the
guess.
universe.
I would say it's one of those things that if you kind of use this, I would say if you use it over a few days, maybe you can kind of hone it in a little more.
Yeah, I stare
Almost like
in a
meditating.
I stare in a direction, use it, and then the next day I do it again in this direction, and then I like echolocate where it's like
Yeah,
the strongest.
you might have to-
I could binary search with commune. Like, is it north, south, east, or west? Is it east
this
or west?
way? No,
Is it
damn
east?
it.
And then that's it. I will find out which one it is with all three of my questions.
Well, the vibe I got was that this would be something Helios would just be doing on his own, like kind of like.
Yeah, I'm just
Chilling
saying,
on
like,
his
it,
own.
you know,
Every
potentially
morning,
we could
every
do that.
morning they see me like stand on top of the castle and like face like a direction like,
Yeah.
and then just
So would
think for a
you
while.
would you spend?
Okay.
This would be almost more like a meditative thing where you concentrate on this spell, even though it's not a concentration spell. You would basically do, maybe
That
prolong
is a good
it.
question.
And
This spell does have like it uses incense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I don't know. Is it something that we just have readily available that I could
Well,
do like several?
Technically, yeah. Actually, yeah, that's true. I forgot that it actually costs 250 gold, and then another 200
Yeah, I always
gold in
take that
ivory
out.
strips.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah.
that isn't consumed. It's just the incense.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the incense is consumed then. So you're burning a shit ton of incense. Like,
Exactly. So how often do we want to do that?
You can do it as much as you want, dude. We have 300,000 gold.
Fuck it, I'm doing 360 times in every degree.
Every single degree.
Well, again,
no, I don't
it
think
doesn't
that-
necessarily seem like you have to do it in a specific direction. It's more like you just need some time to kind of like keep honing your senses in general. So
Okay, I'll do it for like a week.
I do
Okay.
like the fact that Helios like hasn't told us about this, so it just seems like he's like in a house just smoking a shit ton of weed.
he just fucking
Just
blazes
burning
for
that
like
not
a
what this
week
spell is?
straight. Yeah. Okay, so
like,
that's
I'm out
He's
of the
not-
universe.
but that kind of answers the question of what you're doing during some of this time. So we'll say we'll get to that in a bit, but you'll definitely spend like a week doing this. So, okay. The next thing to happen is again as stuff is progressing in the background, there would be some other stuff. First off, a few days more after the arrival of Shaska, a courier would arrive. Literally, like a courier, like a paid courier.
I
He's
pull
got,
out
like,
my Beretta and shoot him in the head.
Yeah. No, yeah, so a courier shows up that has a... he would literally be like, have like a short sword, otherwise kind of like light armor, and like he knows it's a dangerous area. And he comes up to the gate, calls out like, "Hey!" And whoever's there in their earshot would bring one of you guys over. And he's like, "I got a package for Talvo."
Oh.
And he's like, "Hey, here you go." And he's like, he hands it to you, and then he kind of was like starting to run in place, like he's like getting ready to run his way, but he's kind of standing there, and like you realize that he wants a tip.
I'd tip him.
Okay, you give him like a gold piece or something.
Over and stab him. No. Yeah, I just look.
He's like, he gives you a thumbs up, and he's like, "Oh, back to Poulet," and he's so he starts going. It's a tiny little package. It's like it's I don't know how big it would be, like a tissue box size, basically. Wrapped with just some like just wrapped in some paper, nothing fancy. And inside, I'm assuming you just tear it open, or would you like?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'll open it up.
Yeah, inside there
It's a
are
pipe bomb. It's a pipe bomb.
there are three things. A pipe bomb. No, there is three
A
things.
medium pipe bomb, a large pipe bomb, or an extra large pipe bomb.
There's a tiny.
Yo!
There's a tiny little like you're not sure what it is, but there's a tiny little within the like overall package, the box. There is a note rolled up. There is a like cylinder-shaped thing wrapped up, and then like a small kind of flat thing, almost like the size of like a cookie, wrapped up. Which one do you want to open first?
I'll check the note first.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case one of those was a pipe bomb, let's say, hey, by the way, don't.
I'm gonna send you
don't unwrap that.
I'm gonna send you the
Blow up.
message on Discord.
What, but like 5 hours of fucking with the other stuff
Yeah. So here is the
versus 2 hours with the readme. Come on.
here's what the note says. I'm gonna go get some more coffee while you read that. This is how to just get rid of that.
But man, the text editor in Roll20 actually sucks penis. It is so terrible.
No.
I
Okay, is one platinum is 3,000? No, it's 1,000 gold, right?
no, 1 platinum is 10 gold.
Oh, never mind. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would mean we have like 300 million gold.
mean-
And not quite.
Okay.
No.
What?
This dude sent me a note just to talk shit.
Who did? What is it from?
It's from
this track.
It's actually from the Dawn.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah,
The sun is angry.
yeah. Well, he's like, you think your like spy network is sick, but it actually sucks, and you suck, and I'm gonna show you how bad you suck at being a spy.
Oh, okay.
Essentially,
Who is this? The Dawn?
the
The
Dawn.
guy we just found out exists.
Oh, okay. We've never met him before. All right. Fuck if I know.
These people are gonna learn. All they're earning is a punch in the mouth 2 weeks from now.
So now what do you want to open next?
I'll open the small cylinder-shaped thing.
The cylinder shape, got it. The cylinder, you unwrap it, so it just has like wrapping paper around it. It's a glass jug, a milk jug. In fact, it's one that you recognize. You took a sip out of this milk jug a week or two before.
Did I?
You did.
Where at?
Roll me an intelligence check, a flat intelligence.
Okay. Where is my first? 3 monitors is maybe too many. Okay, there it is.
It takes you a second. You're kind of thinking like you feel like you recognize this, and then it clicks. This is the milk jug you were drinking that you stole the milk from when you visited your informant, the guard in Pune. Dylan was his name. It's literally that exact same jug that you like were sipping on to kind of flex on him when you intruded at his house.
Oh yeah! Fuck. Okay. Well, that's unsettling. And then, what's the cookie-shaped package?
You unwrap that one. It's an ear.
You know, this is actually, I kind of figured, I thought the first one was going to be a finger. So, I kind of saw this where this was going.
Yeah, there's an ear, a severed ear. The blood is dried, but it is definitely a real human ear.
Oh, it's a human ear. That's what a human ear
Okay.
ear.
Yeah.
Topical.
Oh, well. Well, that sucks. Talvo is mostly mad that this guy decided to just talk shit.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I don't care about that informant, really.
World's first.
It's more of like a no. I know there's like a leak somewhere that I have to plug,
Mm-hmm. Right.
but nonetheless, I will share everything with the rest of the group whenever we go to meet up next. It's not. I definitely don't want to give off the implication that this guy rattled me to my core. It's more like Talvo is just annoyed dealing with this dude.
Okay.
So, after he mentioned that to us, I turned to Talvo and I'm like, okay, so what we saw earlier about Adau's dad, you think that might be like some kind of trap? That seems
Nah.
a little suspicious that we get that hidden and then the next day or so receive all of this.
Well,
Probably.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? If he kills us and we're dead forever? That sounds like me. But actually,
Guys that use the word web, they know he has the spider suit.
I mean, either that's like what he did, and he's not nearly as sneaky as he thinks he is, or it's just a like weird coincidence.
Hmm.
I see.
Either way, I think we were
Adau
gonna have to.
communes over this. What does Adau want to know?
What's his name? Is Shaska affiliated? And or okay, so I'd have a minute to think about it. But
Yeah.
is Shaska the Dawn over the River or affiliated with the Dawn over the River?
No.
Okay. Is the Dawn over the River affiliated in an official capacity with the governing bodies of Ilta Silva?
Yes.
Are they the same?
I need to look at it. Hold on.
That's a couple words from the gods there. Oh.
Well, I'm just like looking at the
You just see like an ethereal shuffling of paper through the air.
The answer is, in a sense.
All right. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
An 8-ball.
So he didn't load for me. I just heard the answer is, and then Duncan went, "Oh yeah, okay." So what was
It was in a sense, like in a certain sense.
Ah,
From a certain point of view.
Yeah.
But I mean, I imagine what that means is that they are the de facto ruler and/or the ruler of the Undercity somehow. Not the literal Undercity, but like, you're not gonna fuck with the mob in Palermo.
Yeah, true.
All right. Anyway, though, that's all I wanted.
Okay. Alright. Would you guys do anything else with this for now, or just kind of log it for later?
In the vault.
I
yep.
mean, we're gonna head up there anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, I
happy
should have
to
asked.
kill another spy master and co-op his network. I've done it before. I'll do it again.
Yeah, I'm a dumb moron. I should have asked if Dawn over the River was a person, and if so, I would have scryed on them. Attempted to scry. Oh,
Cool.
yeah, I am a fool. So
I mean, you could just
wait,
ask it again, right?
yeah, but isn't there like a
There's a
25% chance I get no answer? Well, I guess I get no answer.
Yeah,
so if I
doesn't
fuck it
give
up,
you
I
false,
just
So.
yeah. Oh, then I'll do it again.
We should do it tomorrow.
I have a number in my head. Roll a d4. Okay. Ask your question.
Let's go. Is the Dawn over the
Yeah,
River
no way.
a person?
No.
Okay. Or is that the name of an organization?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's the sun rising.
Yeah. Is their base of operations literally situated over the river from Ilta Silva?
No.
Okay. Yeah, alright, makes sense.
That would make sense because the dawn, the sun rises here.
You see, this is why
What is
this is why I'm really annoyed he was talking shit. Okay, if you got like a massive like criminal spy network, why would you give it a fucking name? Dumb? Like
True. I guess I could still commune and ask about your spy network if I know someone in it or who you are, and you're pretty famous. As
Yeah,
someone who builds
but-
spy networks.
No, we could just get like Talvo facts.
Talvo, we could just get Talvo facts. You could get Talvo facts. You could get facts about any of us, except maybe Hingwis, with legend lore.
fucking Helios out here legend loring himself.
Bro Googled himself.
Hold on, I want to do that.
So, alright, yeah, so you get this parcel, and then that'd be it for that. Sorry, I'm looking through my notes to remember other stuff. Okay.
I would not keep that stuff. I would destroy it.
Okay, got it.
What, that's
Including the ear.
Marshmallow.
Are you gonna eat that?
No? It's all cartilage. It'd be way too chewy, dude.
What? It's like it's so crunchy. You don't just like crisp it up. Come on now.
So, during the next, so this would be kind of like around the start of the second, full week here, and it's starting to come together. Bree is helping out with, spells during the day. Adau is managing the construction. Everyone's pitching in different ways. Helios is doing little songs to keep everyone motivated.
Like myself.
Which actually does literally help, though. It's that's the funny thing, is that it sounds like you literally can magically imbue people in ways that make them more efficient, right? So, when people are lifting up a big slab of rock, you give them bardic inspiration. You got it, and they go. And, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to convince Riley that everyone has to pay rent. So I want him to pay a gold coin a week.
Okay.
A week.
I think he just wouldn't even question it. He'd be like, "Oh, okay, man," and then
He gets 0.5 to 1% of our loot based on all the NPCs we have. So they divide up 10%, and he's been here since level 6. So he probably is rich as hell by now. He doesn't give a shit.
He's like you guys are basically multi-billionaires. He's a multi-millionaire though. He's pretty rich.
Hey, we aren't billionaires now. The fund that we set up to manage our state is a billionaire.
That's true. Yeah.
We are poor. You can't tax us.
You're like Harvard.
Yeah.
So.
And of course, that would also come with a hefty security deposit.
Yeah. I
you are not getting that back.
Someone is just eventually gonna find a stash of money Talvo's keeping just from Riley to mess with him. That'll come in the future.
This will have consequences.
I'll put that in my notes and I'll bring that up in the future, but it'll be a while. Okay. So the next thing that'll happen, the next kind of 4 or 5 days would pass without much incident. But the next thing that happened would be, on a peaceful night. After everyone's kind of done their work during the day and then hung out at night. Helios. You...
Jesus, sorry.
You awaken one night. You did your meditations, your legend lore, you're trying to hone in on this wild magic that has intrigued you since you saw Hingwis using it, and since you've seen it in the past. You feel yourself almost every time you've been doing these meditation blaze sessions, you feel yourself getting a little more in tune with the flow of magic in this area, this part of the world. And this night, you wake up, just kind of jolt up out of bed, and you don't know why you're awake. But you do know something. You feel a pull. Stronger than before. A pull, a draw, bringing you, telling you to bring yourself somewhere.
It's at this point on the map specifically. No.
Do you follow the draw? Do you get up and get dressed and...
No, I just walk out the door naked.
Just go back to bed.
Yeah, or that. I'll follow.
It's not like it's compelling you.
Wear pants?
Yeah.
It's not like it's compelling you to. You're not being forced to do anything, but it is very... It feels like it's telling you to come to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, never mind.
Alright. You kind of head out. Helios, roll me a d4 real quick.
Duncan's thing popped up in front of them as I was typing it, and I didn't see what I typed.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, because you did a d5, I see, yeah.
Yeah.
Hingwis.
Huh?
As you're sleeping, you You're kind of in like a shitty little bedroom near the edge of like the flying castle because they kind of haven't gotten you a permanent room yet, you know?
Yeah, I'm on like a little bedroll.
Yeah, and so you're like kind of have been sleeping light. And then you are rustled awake by the sounds of Boarman feet
Heyo.
clomping over the
I think they're called hooves.
yeah.
I don't
They
know
are
if things
hooves.
Have
That's the way I've imagined it, is that they have like hooves on the bottom and then clawed hands on their upper body. It's kind of weird. That's how I've imagined
They
it.
have cloven hooves.
Yeah. So you hear
The
hooves
regular pigs.
smell
striking
bacon in the hallway.
striking the ground. And you kind of like look up and you see Helios passing by your doorway here. The castle's pretty quiet. It's late at night. And then you realize something. You're like your heart almost starts pounding. You realize that you feel wild magic surging.
Uh-oh.
Hey man, I'm going to the fridge. You need anything?
From the direction of Helios, too. And you've been with him long enough now that you haven't felt that sort of magic from him. So you know something is off here. Something's different.
I'm gonna like. Okay, I'm gonna try and follow him, but like from a distance, just like watch him from like around corners, and then
I'm gonna need stealth checks for
just
this.
like run up.
I'm gonna say,
yeah.
roll. Let's just do one for this first part here. Do a stealth check, and Helios, you're gonna do a perception, but you're gonna do it with disadvantage, Helios.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because you don't actually realize how kind of. Oh my god.
Holy!
Oh my god!
Jesus, you still have a lot of perception. Wow.
Wow.
So 19 to
You're a little distracted,
Shitty
Helios. You're
rogue,
kind of
Logan.
engulfed by this feeling. But even still, you do hear footsteps. You maybe turn around.
I feel the wild magic from him, and I'm like, you.
I imagine Logan kind of like pops behind the corner, like. But you did see him, Helios, so you can pretend not to, or like you can pretend like you didn't, or you can just like.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't and keep walking.
Okay. So you kind of pretend you don't, and you just kind of go back to following this sensation. And Logan, maybe I imagine Hingwis looks around the car like, whoo. Not sure if he actually could see.
Was
it.
insane.
Tom and Jerry-esque.
Mhm. And so, so you continue, and eventually Helios you realize you kind of wander around the courtyard of the flying castle, and you realize no, it's below you. So you descend from the castle on the a little ladder. Probably since the castle's been here like a couple weeks now, it's probably you have like a gangplank and it's like parked next to a cliff nearby or something. I don't know. But regardless,
I have dark vision.
the what? Sorry.
This is nighttime, right? Do I have dark vision?
I mean, luckily
Or do we have like lights? Or
well,
like,
there's the moon is actually pretty strong
Okay.
right now, so
So I don't just walk off the cliff because I can't see.
yeah, this is actually about. I guess there would have been a full moon in here too, which Bree. I guess we'll cover that in
Yeah,
a bit.
is Bree walking through the halls as a bear? I have to like avoid her.
This would
Wow.
it would have been a few days before this, so but Bree would have probably had. I mean, the second transformation is never as strong as the first full moon one, so Bree probably handled it all right. We can come back to that though. But yeah, so for now though, the moon is big enough in the sky that you have a lot of natural light. So once your eyes are adjusted, then it's fine. Does Hingwis
Yeah, we
follow
probably put a
him?
bunch of torches down so mobs don't spawn in our base.
Yeah. Logan,
True.
does Hingwis follow him even off the castle here?
Oh yeah.
And
I'll
then
try to, like-
seeing him.
I know. No, I guess I'll be on foot. Wings are loud.
Yeah. At this point we'll say that honestly I feel like we could just say that like well Helios knows that Hingwis is following him, but unless you try to mention anything, then it'll just continue like this with both of you pretending not to
See each
one
other.
of you pretending that you don't see the other one of you pretending that you're not there still, but you head down into like the town and kind of walk through the buildings in the town, Helios, like feeling it out, like okay, where is this sensation coming from? And then you realize it's even deeper still. It's
Oh no.
it's below. in the tunnels.
That's a shame.
Do you follow it?
I'm gonna say yes because I know someone's coming with me.
Okay, you're basically like, Hingwis can bail me out if something happens.
Yeah.
So you start to head down into the tunnels. And you know what's funny, though, Helios, is that you don't have dark vision. And these tunnels are pitch black now. But it almost feels like whatever this sense is, it's guiding you. Occasionally you get to hold out your hands to feel the rock face to the sides, but it's guiding you through the tunnels. And Hingwis, you do have, as an elf, you do have dark vision, so you can kind of keep up with them a little easier now.
It's like this idiot.
I'm like this, and you're like 5 feet behind me, just walking.
Yeah, but yeah, so either way, you keep watching him and following him, and he does so he seems to be like semi-entranced by whatever he's doing here. And Helios, you definitely feel like, again, just fully immersed in the sensation of like this magic. It's magic itself calling to you. It's different than the magic you use normally. You are, Helios is an accomplished magic user. But normally, he does it with... Normally, Helios, the way that you use your magic is by weaving intricate dances and songs with your instrument, using it as a tool to delicately manipulate the strings of magic, literally. This is different. This is like a river, a gushing river of magic, and you almost can hear the rush of it pulling you in. It's different. And so you keep going. You keep going. Hingwis, you keep going as well, following him. I'm assuming. Do you, at any point... I'm assuming you're just kind of...
Oh, yeah, no. We're going.
Yeah. And Hingwis, as you're following him, you start to realize, you definitely feel the draw of magic. Not just the magic he's exuding, Helios, from whatever trance-like state he's in, but you feel whatever's calling him now, too, as you're getting closer. An hour passes of wandering through the caverns and tunnels. At one point, you actually see Helios, an Ankeg, like a remnant from the colony that just was off on its own, but it just skitters away. It doesn't bother you. If anything, it can sense your magical power that you're emanating right now. And
plus an aura. Keep walking.
Yeah, and you keep going deeper. You have no clue how you're going to find your way back to the surface at this point. But you know that you have to keep going. It's so tantalizing. This continues on for even longer, until finally you see a light up ahead. A weird light, though. It's not like daylight, it's not like moonlight. It's a weird purplish glow coming from around a few corners.
I approach the weird purple glow.
And as you around these corners, you feel this tug of magic, this energy. You know you're close. Hingwis, you feel this too, as you follow from a little ways back. And Helios, as you round this corner, you see a cavern, a large cavern actually, bathed in a purplish glow. And around the walls of the cavern on all sides are tendrils of ice-splick.
Wow.
Strong veins of ice-splick that then go down to the floor and then converge in the center of this cavern. And you realize this is where the knotted ice-splick heart of the mountain came from.
Huh.
You feel it, and you just know it instantly to be true. This is where Lady Valeria took it from. And you feel the strong magical energy. But in the middle of the room, maybe where it once was, is a purple orb of energy, swirling, emanating this light that is bathing the place.
Pick it up and just what's the Monster House gift?
You feel that this is just... You can sense... You realize what this is, Helios. This is not a wellspring, in a traditional sense. It's not a literal spring, but it is a point of confluence of magic, which is what wellsprings also are. This one just happened to be in a place of stone rather than
we got a fucking, like, magic orb generator.
It seems like this... Well, you kind of are looking around a little bit, and Hingwis, too, is behind you now. Maybe, like, not even that well hidden, because Hingwis, like...
I said, my next plan was to look at this and be like, is this a good idea?
I like to think that Hingwis, maybe without even noticing, walked into the cavern and is, like, just not even hidden, because he's probably so, just like, whoa, what is going on? Like,
Oh yeah.
It's a good idea.
and you, as you guys are looking around, you can tell that this... Like, it seems like this cavern was dug more recently by the Ankegs and the vampires. In other words, like, it was just, in the middle of the mountain, a point where the, like, magic knotted together to form the heart of Icewick. And now that it's open, there's just an orb of pure magical energy in the middle of the room, glowing a purplish color, but swirling with other colors, too, occasionally.
Did I feel drawn to this magic at all, like he did, or do I just detect it?
As you got closer, you started to feel the draw too, because it is basically wild magic. It is basically pure wild magic energy.
Well, I was just following this thing. I didn't have a plan when I got here.
I mean, you followed it this far. You got to follow it all the way to the final destination.
Exactly, right? But I don't know what it's going to do. It's going to, like, blow up if I touch it? Like, what's it?
It's not a pipe bomb.
Well, I did fail the insight check earlier on that, if we apply it. Can I, like, think back to when we did this as a bit for, like, the first Wellspring? When, like, we had the wild magic, like, boost? To be like, how can I control this again?
Sure, yeah, roll me an Arcana check to see...
Okay, that's what this is. It'd be normal.
It'd be
Should I re-roll
16. No, it's fine. You just take the
Okay.
left one. So, 16. Yeah. You kind of think back to that. What the thing is with that was the only wellspring that you saw that was a true wellspring was the one near Yunudu. You had some water from a different one that Rook had. But the one in Yunudu was kind of already tainted by the giant's influence by the time you got there. But I would say you do know that, like, from your interactions with it, you never felt really, like, threatened by it. It doesn't really have a mind of its own. It just kind of is pure power.
Do I feel threatened by this one? This glowing orb?
Roll me an insight check.
No.
And Hingwis, you can too if you want, Logan, for Hingwis.
Now, I do have... it's not, like, fully built in the sheet yet, but I do have the lucky feat now. I settled on that.
Yeah.
So, however that works when you add it to a sheet.
Yeah, that's just the one
Just in
that...
case. Just in case something happens here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Hingwis, you're actually probably maybe more troubled by this than he is, because Hingwis, you are used to wild magic, which is why it's kind of unsettling to find such a confluence of magic just sitting there in this random cavern. Helios, you on the other hand, you kind of like, you know, you've at least you have been to a wellspring before, and you don't think that there's any sort of malicious evilness to this thing. It is just magic.
What do we do with this? Like, I'm afraid to just, like, touch it. Like, it's probably just gonna, like, blow up. But I don't know, like, what...
At this point, I break my silence and hiding that I've been doing. and I like step forward because I'm hiding so well, and I'm just like, hey, so we're here and that's here. That's not normal. I assume so. I assume you felt this much sooner than I did. I figure that's why you were walking through the castle.
Yes. I was thinking about it, and then it found me. Now I'm standing in front of it.
So, like,
How did you know about it?
I don't know about nothing. I don't know what you're even talking about. I just followed you here, basically, entirely, even, and valid. It worries me a little bit. Did you have an idea of what you were going to do when you got here?
No.
Okay, so we have like 3 options. We can either touch it, walk away from it, or try and cast a spell into it.
Into it?
I don't know if you have any one particular spell you might want to do, but I feel like trying to magically touch it would go better than trying to physically touch it.
No. I mean, I have Mage Hand. This might be the first fucking use for Mage Hand, actually.
Yeah, it would
Finally.
literally be touching it magically.
Yeah.
Do you want to try that?
I'd do it.
Okay. So like Helios kind of shrugs, like, let's try it, and you see a little spectral mage hand appear in the air, start floating towards it, and you guys are both kind of like looking on, probably like, oh god, like what's gonna happen? As the mage hand gets closer, it starts to like pulsate a little bit. The mage hand kind of goes closer, and as it touches this orb of energy, it goes and gets sucked into it.
Oh, okay. Good call.
And you feel like your spell got just completely severed from you. Like it just ate your spell.
It's like a vending machine eat your dollar. Oh, man.
Yeah.
My spell!
My spell!
But then it continues to pulse, and you realize it's starting to expand and kind of contract in a way that looks a little less stable than before.
Hmm.
I'm gonna walk back like 15 feet at least.
Yep.
As you do so, all of a sudden, the magic ball goes, and tendrils of magical energy start shooting towards you, Helios.
Yeah.
Roll me
Like directly at me? Is it
roll
like
me-
random or is it at me?
At you, but kind of spreading out in a way where Hingwis is probably going to get hit too.
What am I rolling?
I want both of you to roll me dexterity saving throws.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Okay, I'm gonna use that lucky thing. When I make a saving throw, I can spend 1 luck point to roll an additional d20. I can, before the outcome is determined.
Yeah, you don't know if that's a success or a fail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you can roll again,
I think
basically.
he
Yeah, you
does.
But I haven't said it. That's the important part.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm also lucky. I'm gonna try. I might have to. I'm good. I don't have to do shit.
Okay. so
He stands
as,
there and misses.
it does make sense that you're a little further away, right? So you kind of you're like, oh shit, you dive out of the way. Like Hingwis dives, or like his wings kind of flap, and he kind of propels himself out of the way. Helios, with your luck, with your luckier roll, you almost managed to get out of the way. But then one of these magic tendrils goes over your leg, and Hingwis, Helios is gone.
I should not have filled that hole. This is bad.
So Helios, you're not gone.
Am I gone to him?
Helios, you land on the ground, Helios, and you're like, oh god. And then you look back over your shoulder and you're like, oh god.
That's crazy.
And then you look over, Helios, and you see Hingwis there. And you're like, oh god, thank god.
Oh, okay. That felt weird. How you feeling?
You don't, Hingwis, you don't see anything or hear anything.
Fuck, this is not gonna be good. I cannot report to them that I lost him on like my third day.
I lost the pig.
By the way, before we go any further, the orb, you guys probably both after a second look over. The orb is actually still there, but it's much smaller now, and it's like very small. Like before, like when you guys came in the room, it was like basketball sized. Right now, it's like baseball sized.
So don't poke it again.
And yeah, Helios, you still have, like.
I would like to imagine. I would like to imagine Talvo just kind of like woke up and like, what the, like just like a little sense of Helios got himself in the most fucking situation.
Yeah. So Helios, you meanwhile,
you really,
Helios,
you really can't put his finger on it. It's just like.
So Helios, you see that Hingwis is like looking around, like he doesn't see you, but you're right there. You know.
Oh no! Can I go poke him?
Yeah, you go and poke Hingwis, and Hingwis, you have no idea about any of this, but you go poke him, your finger goes right through him. Actually, Hingwis, you feel for a second, you're like, oh god, something just like. You gotta chill. Like, you're like, oh god, what the fuck? But then,
there's a bug on you.
Yeah, you get like a chill, but then Helios, he doesn't react, and you go right through him.
Oh, no, do I see him react, or is it like
you do see him react? Yeah, you can tell that he
so
felt
I
something.
see everything he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, do I hear him? Like, what senses do I have?
Well, yeah, because I guess Hingwis did speak. It was like, oh shit, like, you. Well, would Hingwis say anything else now, or like would he call out or anything, or?
Yeah, calling out sounds like a pretty good idea. Oh shit. Oh no. Hello.
Helios, as you hear this,
did you happen to just like fall through a rock or something, or like?
He clipped through
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Helios, you do hear it, but it has like almost like a tinny kind of sound, like it's coming through a microwave. No.
Oh god, the microwave.
It's like Doug's microwave PTS.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, you do hear it's like it's a tinny ring to it. Like it doesn't sound normal. Something is off. In fact, Helios, roll me a perception check. You're starting to realize, it took you a little bit, Helios, but you're realizing two things. For one, the light in this room has dimmed considerably since the orb shrunk back down after it hit you. But you can still see just as well as like when it was at full blast. You can actually see really well, like better than normal.
Damn, this is not upgrade.
However, you don't see color.
Oh.
Everything is.
Fuck! I took all the color out of the world.
Everything is grayscale.
Oh no! It's July 1st.
Yeah, everything is grayscale. So you see like Hingwis like looks just like grayscale. Everything is just grayscale. The orb that was like purple is just kind of like a grayish now. So.
So I'm like, oh, there's already less colors that I even know about, and it's like the few that I had are gone.
So yeah, so you what I mean, so Hingwis, you probably are just calling out for a few minutes here and like realize like he's not coming back at least.
I think. Hold on, I'm gonna use a brain cell here.
Okay.
I'm gonna spending, which goes across planes of existence with a 5% chance to fail.
Roll me a d20 real quick. Just a flat d20. Yep, your message goes through. What do you say?
Like, I see you. What the fuck is going on here?
So yeah, okay. So Hingwis, you do hear this in your head. I see you. What the fuck is going on here?
Okay, you see me. Are you like up or like down? Wait, hang on. Do I have? Hang on.
Yeah, you can
respond to any of the words I'm saying.
I have to send it. I have to cast sending again, but you can respond without casting it.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Two more.
If you don't cast sending a second time, I'm gonna be like, can you respond? Oh.
I'm screaming like, yes! Wait, fuck! Okay, what was your response?
What if you spell?
What?
like cast a spell.
Oh.
Yep. You said it again. Roll another d20. Okay. Now, what do you say this time?
I can't respond. One more message. No color. Scared.
Okay. Okay.
Why don't you guys both roll me Arcana checks? Because like your brains are probably racing, but maybe you think like your
I
characters
said,
might.
out of character, I think I know what it is, but in character, I gotta know what the fuck's going on.
Get
so-
ethereal plane, idiot.
Yep.
I actually don't know if that's
I
true
doubted
because
this on
in the
purpose.
ethereal plane, you can move through any solid object in the normal plane.
Yeah.
I would say that you both of you do feel like you both are kind of thinking about this, and you realize he is definitely not in the material plane anymore. But you're not sure of like where he is. Neither of you are sure where Helios is. But
Helios does not know where
but you
Helios
both
is.
kind of start to realize, like, yeah, he's definitely not. Like, Helios, you're like, oh shit, I'm definitely not there. And Logan, you realize that too.
He's here. He's just not here.
And that never am.
Well, I have a bad idea and I have a worse idea, and I'm probably gonna go with the worse idea, and that's see if I can join him. So I'm gonna. All right. Okay. So I assume since you can see me, you can continue to watch me, and hopefully hear me. So I'm gonna tell you that I'm gonna go touch the orb, and
No, don't do
you can tell me. You can talk to me if you think that's a bad idea, but I think it would let me see you.
I have one more sending to be
So-
like, do I talk to him? Hold on, what does message do? Message probably would not work, because sending
Wait.
explicitly says...
Hang on. That cold was probably you earlier. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put out my hands, and I'm gonna ask yes or no questions. And if you say yes, touch my right hand. If you think no, touch my left hand.
Okay.
Should I touch the orb?
No.
Yeah, you feel like
Okay.
a tingling in your left hand for no.
Alright, I'm not used to that apparently. Do you think we should go back to the castle?
Should we tell Mom what happened?
There's a
We have a lot of casters at the castle. Surely one
Yes.
of them has before.
Yes.
Yes, going back to the castle. Should we do anything with the orb at all right now?
No.
No. So we're just gonna take this L of you now being invisible and walk back home.
I am scared that the orb's gonna be completely gone if we fuck up again. I can't say that though. And I'll just be like, no. But I'll like.
You just start like waving your hands all my body.
Yeah, I'll just like apprehensively just like be like, I'll wait a second, and then no.
Okay. All right. It feels like a lost opportunity to just leave all this here, though, right?
You can find it again. Okay, I will one
He
last.
said- All right. He said no. We'll go back.
One
I'll
last
try
one.
to
Yeah. Make
remember
a
the way.
map. Make a map.
Do I?
Yeah, so oh yeah, roll a d20 though to see if it goes through.
Right. This is definitely not going to go through because this is a really important one.
No, it goes through. Yeah,
Okay.
he said
Let's
make
go.
a map.
Make a
Make
map.
a map. Scared orb
I-
will be gone after next use.
Okay, that's very fair. I'm gonna be real. I didn't bring map making utensils with me, but I can just claw along the wall all the way back.
Bert?
Roll me an intelligence check, Logan. Flat intelligence.
And
Just on the left side, and then you click where it's literally says.
Yeah, you just click the skill, like the name.
The ability.
Okay.
Itself, yeah.
Oh no!
Nice.
So you realize
Wonderful.
You something dawns upon you, Logan. You were kind of like following this feeling when you came down here, following Helios, and you realize you have no idea how to reach the surface from here.
Okay, hands again. Do you know how to get back?
Oh.
Helios, roll me an intelligence check with disadvantage.
Uh-oh, where's that at? There it is. Mine's +0 here.
You
Okay.
have a rough idea, but not the exact. You definitely don't know the exact every single turn which way to go.
Okay.
He knows to go up, though.
Do I have a sense of how far underground I am currently?
You know that you're deep. That's all you know, and you
Like 500 feet?
more than that. Probably
Okay.
at least a mile. Well, maybe not a mile, but a few
A
thousand.
mile?
A mile underground?
Maybe
Jesus
it's
Christ.
a few
Holy
thousand
shit.
feet at least.
Center of the planet.
Oh. Hmm.
Wait, you descended 2,000 feet in an hour?
It was like an hour and a half, but yeah.
I mean, that's like
the,
Jesus. It's like a mountain. No.
Was it like a spiral down?
Even if he does know, how the fuck is he supposed to lead me back?
How does Dimension Door work between the
Do I have any?
It doesn't work between planes. The earliest spell...
I assume I can't go to his. I just can't plane
well,
hop with it.
the earliest spell that you'd be so plane shift can literally shift between planes.
You know what's really funny is like earlier today I was looking for a spell to replace and I saw plane shift and I'm like, this might be interesting one day.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna.
We can't use it right now, so it's useless.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so Dimension Door, you can Dimension Door, but this won't get you out
would
of this
just be
plane of
me.
existence. Yeah.
Hey, you know what could get you out of that plane of resistance? Our cool anti-magic ball.
Okay. Stand in front of me. I'm just going to assume after 5 seconds that you're standing in front of me, and I'm going to see.
Wait, hold on.
I'm going to see if Mage Hand can touch you and like not phase through you. So I cast Mage Hand and I just kind of like push it forwards in front of me and see if it like stops. Like when it hits him.
It just goes right. It goes right through him. Not that you know. It just looks like it keeps going. Helios, you on the other hand feel it go through you, and now you get a cold sense.
Well, it touched the wall. That's really fucking terrible.
In fact, though, like, one other thing though, as you cast this, you see the orb crackling a little bit, like it's reacting to your spell.
It could hit me again. I choose to fail.
I'm tempted. He just wait. I am tempted, but he has a good point about it possibly disappearing. So I don't know. Maybe that chronicler guy knows some shit about this fucking orb. The question is how the fuck I get home. Alright, let's try to make our way back, and if we seem to get lost, we'll come back here and fuck with the orb.
Yes.
I don't know if you agree with that. Okay, right hand. You touched my right hand. Cool. Alright, sounds like a plan. We will... I will hold both my hands out, and you walk in front of me, and when you turn, you touch the
hand that turns.
direction you need to turn. Okay, that is a plan that we have. We can kind of do this. Let's attempt to do this.
Did the how do things that I have on me travel with me? Like, I'm attuned to the helm of the Archdevil, right? So,
Yeah.
did that come with me?
Yeah, anything you would have had on you is here.
Fuck! I was hoping it wouldn't. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Wait,
So it's not like if I take it off, it like switches and like falls out into the real world, right?
No.
Okay.
Hang on.
Like, I'm assuming you try it. Like, you throw something forward.
I throw it at him like, yeah!
It clatters on the ground, but it still has the, like, it sounds normal to you, but Logan doesn't hear or see anything.
Fuck, I was gonna give him Dimension Door and then... Okay.
Right. So you guys gonna start trying to make your way out of here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And I can see a little better for some reason.
Helios,
So I'm like, oh,
I
yeah,
need
this is
you
really
to
nice.
make me a survival check, Helios.
Okay, this is +3, it doesn't too bad.
Okay. So you actually, as you guys start heading back, you do have the system where you start, like, you tap his right hand when you need to turn right, tap left hand when you turn left, and you keep going kind of just by instinct. And you're kind of just, like, basically following your gut. Like, I think it was this way and stuff. And you actually do feel like you're making progress. You definitely know you're getting closer to the surface. Eventually, though, you do hit a fork where you're not sure which way you're supposed to go.
Right.
Well, hold on. I was gonna say...
Go ahead.
At this, before you make a decision, at this juncture, you do feel a pull in one direction.
Oh god.
Almost like the pull from the orb, but a little different this time. That's all you're really able to tell, is that it kind of feels like another magical pull.
I looked at him, realized she can't see me, go, oh shit. Well...
Hey, did you want
like...
You're not stuck on the ground for a month again.
Well, you're above ground, so you're fine.
I don't have good berry. This might end very terribly. Not alone in this fucking cave.
Well... I'm kind of, like, afraid to follow it, but it's, like, a thing compared to nothing. So I guess I, like, start going towards it.
Okay. Yeah, and you tell
Like,
Logan...
maybe it's the surface.
Or you signal to
Yeah.
Logan this way, and Logan has no idea. He has no idea if this is the right way or not. You don't have any idea if it's the right way.
I am actually gonna burn Ascending at level 4.
Took a long time making that decision, but alright,
Okay.
I'll trust you on it.
He's gonna burn Ascending, though, so he will actually communicate. Yeah, okay, it makes through.
Okay, be like, I feel magic. Yeah, no. That to the left, whichever way it was.
Yeah.
You're like, nothing to right. Which should we go?
And you can respond, Logan. You get a free response when you... Or you can just talk
Okay.
out loud, I guess, so...
I can just talk about. Well, magic is probably better than no magic. I mean, fucking maybe it's
Magic's how you got into this situation, my dude.
yeah, magic is how we got. So magic, or possibly be lost in a cave forever.
Wait,
or possibly
what the
be lost
fuck
in
am I doing? I send to, like, Adau and go, like, help!
No, what the fuck? I was having a great dream,
Now you're
dude.
sleeping, it's like 5 a.m. You were dreaming about a bunch of hot elf babes on a yacht.
And then I turn around on the
I'm on our
like,
treasure fleet
Adau, help
surrounded
me.
by gold and women, and then I hear Helios, help!
Help me, Adau. You're my only hope.
You get a sending message from Helios and just says help, and you probably jolt away because you like think that you heard a yell, and then you realize that no one
Yeah,
else in
like,
the
what the
castle's
fuck?
moving. So it's like
Okay, I don't just say help, but that would be I start with that because it's funny.
okay.
And then
Oh.
like help, like lost underground, followed, wild magic. Be like, would I have known? Like I said, how much would I have known that like I plane shifted? Probably.
You can tell you're not in the normal plane
And
anymore.
like not on regular plane.
I mean,
You know how
What?
to do that. To help.
Hingwis is with me. Maybe.
Hingwis with me.
yeah, there you go. That's
No one-
funny.
okay.
All right,
Bear with me.
So
Bear with me.
Bear with me.
That was like 21 words, so you're good. So Adele's probably like, what the fuck? What is Adau's reaction to this? I gotta know.
Adau, Adau, he was surprised. He like heart is going crazy because being jolted awake is not a sensation he's had since he wore the billhook around, and it's been a while. So he hasn't gotten the alarm
Sorry to
bell.
interrupt.
He got used to, he was complacent. So anyway, I don't have a theory on this fucking prepared. So I'm just like,
It's overnight though. You should...
yeah, but I haven't long rested yet because I mean
Yeah.
I'm currently long resting.
Yeah.
Well,
Could I also prepare it when I wake up? Because I could do it.
Well, yeah, I don't remember. Well, so druids, your spells are a little different. I know that like Adau can get new ones, but I don't. How do druids work? You prepare them, yeah. So you can do that too. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Both of you guys have prepared lists, so you can like swap them out at will. That's kind of the benefit of your guys' classes.
yeah, it's very convenient.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I guess I'm gonna attune to the telepathy ball. And I'm going to, after an hour, scry Hingwis.
Okay.
I like you making him wait for an hour now.
I can't scry otherwise. I don't have
So
it.
okay, so
Actually, I
while-
do with the shield, but I'm not using that.
During this hour, would Helios and Hingwis, are you going to try to go follow the new magic strain that you sense, or are you going to sit there? What are you going to do with the
Yeah.
Yeah, you messaged Adau, and then you're just kind of like, well, hope that works.
Oh yeah, would Adau reply?
Yeah, what would Adau
Yeah,
say?
Adau can reply.
Adau probably just all I got
Oh.
back was a.
You would get
Sigh.
back the vague
God
equivalent
damn
of "God damn it."
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
gonna sleep because of y'all.
So you do get a response. So you know that he got the message at least. But yeah. So in the meanwhile, Helios and Hingwis, we'll come back to Adau after a little time has passed. But in fact, why don't we take a little break here while you decide? This is a good time for a little break, and then we'll see.
Yeah, that works for me.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll be back in a few minutes and see what
There's-
happens next.
Gonna be a very stern lecture about looking with our eyes and not our hands.
Yeah.
I did. It wasn't
No.
my hand.
All of us put on that crown, so we can't say.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah,
I
who did it
wasn't
work
the first
for?
one.
Mm,
I will be back in a
Shut
few
up.
minutes. I think we are good to get started yet, so I'm gonna unmute us.
So I know like Kiwi could be on the list too.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, man. Probably durian. Like once you open it up.
Smells so bad.
But hey, for some people, man.
More for them.
All right, so we're back. I kind of gotta get it working here. All right, we're good. Yeah, stream went down for a second, but it's back. I mean, it actually didn't even go down fully. So where we were was that Adau is starting to get the scrying ball ready, but in the meanwhile, do the others, do Hingwis and Helios intend to continue?
I mean, you gotta entertain yourself till they get here, right? Like
Okay. So you're gonna
cautiously.
You're gonna cautiously move towards the magic source that you feel.
Yes.
Okay.
You know what they say, when you're lost and someone's trying to find you, make sure you move around a lot.
Sending doesn't have geolocation.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I can always scry and then use.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know how I would figure out what's down there, but I'd bring a string with me or some shit.
Yeah. So the group will. So the pair will move on with Helios leading the way, patting on a hand whenever they need to take a turn. And Helios.
And we're following the magic, right?
The what?
We're following the magic, right?
Yeah, you're
That was the plan?
following the magic path that Helios felt, the magic source that he felt. And it actually doesn't take too long. You feel that you're getting closer and closer to the surface. But then, all of a sudden, even before a full hour's passed, so before Adau has even had a chance to scribe, you see the first glimpse of sunlight, because it's like 5 a.m. now, 5:30 a.m., and this is actually during, well, I guess it's getting towards like fall. What time of year is it right now? Yeah, I guess this is like October, the equivalent, so it's probably not getting super light or that early, but you can still see like moonlight and stuff. You can tell that there's, sunlight, which is more than none that you're getting here. So you can kind of see.
Dawn.
Yeah, you see light up ahead.
Slowly approach the lens.
Yeah.
Do we get the sense that we're high enough to be outside?
Well, it does. That's the weird thing, is it does feel lower than like the actual surface and from where you went in. But
we're on the other side of the mountain. Yep.
But as you kind of head up, you do see that it is indeed. You see like trees, like as you're getting a little closer. So you're like, okay, we're definitely.
Shit, yeah, we're free right now.
Yeah.
Towards it.
And Hingwis, yeah, you kind of like you don't know what Helios is doing, but you can tell that you see as well. Hingwis, you're like, oh god, we're out of the caves. So you you start kind of like, you guys start heading forward, and then as you kind of crest over the top of the little entrance, the little cave hole entrance, you see standing before you, or rather sitting before you, Helios, on the ground, on a rock actually, like on a big rock up ahead, a boulder, kneeling in prayer, is a Boarman. Or a Boar woman. But yeah. And she is locked in meditation. You both see this, Hingwis does too.
Locked in meditation?
Yeah.
Lock mention?
She is deep in meditation. And then you look behind her and you see there's actually a camp down below. A few hundred feet away. With signs of life.
I see the sky. Like, are we outside, or are we in like some
You're
like
outside.
under like center of the earth? Fucking.
No, you're outside. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can definitely tell this is on like a different side of the mountain.
Whoops.
So Hingwis, you see this boar woman, kneeled in prayer. Helios, you do too. as you guys actually come out of the cave mouth, she would like look up and open her eyes.
I mean, I just kind of stood in the walk with I looked because I don't know if she's gonna see me or not.
Does Hingwis do anything, or
Hello.
she would like take a staff and help herself up, and then you can tell she's probably in like her 30s or something, but definitely has an experienced look to her. Like she's not at all startled by Hingwis here. And she starts walking up the slope a little bit. She's only like maybe 20 feet away. She nods and says hello in the common tongue, the human tongue of this area.
Walking back and
which
forth
you know.
between them.
Helios, you sense that she was the source of the magic you felt.
Interesting.
And she
Does
says
it
hello.
feel the same as the wild magic pool, or is it just like
No,
a magic
different.
pool?
But it does feel like wild magic. And actually, you can tell that too, Hingwis. Logan, you can tell she has some sort of wild magic capability. And she kind of looks at you, Hingwis. And then she looks to the side. And Helios, she's looking at you. And then she says, and hello to you as well.
You can
Hi?
see him.
And
Like,
she
you can see me?
nods. She nods, and then she kind of like leans forward a little bit and kind of motions at her eye. And you can kind of lean forward and see that her eye is swirling with magic. Only one of them, but yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
As she
It's what those
and
at.
she nods and she says, "I can see to the world between worlds, the realm of shadow."
And
Skibbity
that's
realm. Skibbity realm.
no. That's where he is. Can we get him out of that?
Can I get back?
She nods. She's like,
Was
"Yes,
it a cool shit here I don't know about?
She's
Before I
like,
leave?
she's like, "Yes, I can help you out of there." Were you drawn to it, like
Yes.
I was? The heart of the mountain.
Yeah. It just sort of just, yeah. I probably shouldn't have walked down towards it, but it just looked really cool. And then I poked it, and now here we are. I poked it magically, and here I am.
She kind of laughs. She chuckles. She's like, "And are you Helios?"
What? Yes.
Come with me.
Like,
And-
you know of me.
And she looks at you, Hingwis, and she's like, "You too, come with me. You'll be
Oh, thank God.
You'll be safe. No worries."
Yeah, wait, how tall, like, what's the... Because, like, they're both tall, because it's an elf and Boarman, right? So it's not like,
Yeah,
oh god, thank you. like,
she's
it's
pretty tall. She's like 6'5", maybe. So,
Damn, way taller than me.
so she kind of will turn and start walking down towards the camp that you guys saw, and you guys, are both free to follow her. And as you approach, you could tell that this camp was recently erected. It's not like a permanent fixture. This is definitely just a camp that was set up, pretty recently, past few days probably. And you see, there are lots of Boarmen. In fact, you realize the camp actually kind of spills over the side of this little plateau and goes down into the woods around here. There's dozens of Boarmen here. This is a whole clan. And as she is walking, you see, as she starts walking into the camp, a lot of these Boarmen who are very gruff-looking, they don't seem like they're much for conversation. A lot of them very warlike. Although you do also see, like families, like kids running around, or... Well, it's early, so there are probably kids, like a few kids, and most of them are still sleeping. But there are some warriors, some Boarman warriors on watch, or that are just early risers, and they give Hingwis a look, like they're a little bit suspicious. But as soon as you guys walk by with this Boar woman leading, they bow. They give a little like head bow to her, so they clearly respect her and are not going to mess with anyone with her. and they don't see Helios at all. But they.
I think I walk through one of them and freak them out.
But as she's kind of walking, she's kind of like talking over her shoulder to mainly Helios, actually. So Hingwis is kind of offering his leg because he literally can't. Hingwis is like, yeah, we're. But
are they speaking like? Is she speaking Boarman or like?
She would actually switch to Boarman here, so Hingwis would also not even know what she's saying.
Just walking through the whole village, just like.
So she talks to Helios and she says, "We actually came here to speak to you. My people and I, we're all here to speak to you. So it is fortuitous that you would come to me like this."
Yes, this was a planned moment.
and as she, do you ask her anything as she's kind of leading you like a big tent?
Well, I'll be like why, like, I mean, I'm sure obviously you've heard of me, but like, why me? Like, why seek me out? Then I'll wait for my.
Let's wait till you're back in our world fully.
Mhm.
Speaking of, do you know where you are right now?
Sort of.
Yeah. You would know that you are in...
I know I'm not... I mean, you said yourself I'm not currently here.
Yeah, she would say you are in the...
I can't see, like, either of our true colors.
You're in the realm of shadows, which overlaps our world, but is where those of shadow, as well as spirits, reside.
Oh, it's a good thing we didn't run into any of them.
That's actually...
Am I dead?
This is a fun thing, which is that... So, Duncan, you were kind of right. In my world, there's no ethereal plane or shadow plane. They're both rolled into one.
Okay, I was literally about to ask her that specific question.
In normal D&D, there's like the normal plane, and you have the ethereal plane, which is where ghosts are. But there's also a separate thing called the shadow plane, which is like a shadow version of the world that is also overlaid with it, but it's not where like ghosts go. It's like where you like shadowy figures go. Like I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's where you go if you lose a card game.
Yeah, you go to the Shadow Realm. Yeah, no, but yeah, so like it's so in normal D&D you have two separate things: Ethereal Realm, which is where ghosts are; Shadow Realm, which is just like a shadowy version of the real world. In my world, those are both one and the same. So it kind of takes on the function of both. Like it's for both ghosts and also just other things that are cast out of the normal world. So. Yeah, so she would kind of maybe she might even explain this a little bit. She would say like she would tell you like this, you know, the source of magic you touched, the confluence of magic. It is well, you're lucky it only sent you here instead of trying to send you somewhere else entirely.
Oh, what were the options?
Well, with our part of the world here being cut off from others, it is entirely possible that you could have been sent to another realm, but then only part of you arrived. That would not have been very pretty.
Huh.
And yeah, at this point you've reached kind of like
Is going back going to have that say? Am I freaking out?
She chuckles and she's like, "No, you'll be fine." And so you finally reach a tent.
Is there any cool shit I can do while I'm here before I go back?
she's like, not really.
Yeah.
If you were to spend a lot of time there, you might actually start to feel off. Hunger and thirst.
That's just anxiety.
Lots of your senses are dulled while you're in that world, so it's best not to linger.
Damn. Okay,
so
yeah,
let
me out of the anxiety bubble.
Yeah. So she kind of brings you in this tent, and she just tells Hingwis to like take a seat somewhere, and she then goes and rummages through like a chest with a bunch of stuff. And you can tell that this is like this war tent that she basically has you in. You can tell that this clan of theirs, like they have lots of prized possessions from past wars or raids that they've done. It looks like a very traditional Boarman clan setting, right? There are, because beyond Kurbak and his empire of Boarman, there are many, many tribes of Boarman and clans of Boarman that chose not to join with him, right? Lots of them just don't really care to settle down. Lots of them prefer to be nomadic. Lots of them prefer to just have their own towns or settlements in the mountains or hills where they can just be on their own. They don't want to be part of a larger empire, right? Lots of them just don't really care to have like a leader like that, like a god emperor, you know. So
so we're starting this arc.
Lots of them don't even necessarily view him as a legitimate god, right? So yeah.
Here it comes.
So as she rummages through this stuff, she eventually pulls out what looks to be a tuning fork. You've actually seen this because for actual instruments.
Yeah.
And she comes over and holds it up in front of you, Helios, and says, "This will feel a little strange." And she goes bong and literally hits you on like the shoulder with it, and then hits you on the other shoulder, and then hits you on the top of the head with it.
Ow!
And she's kind of chanting something while she does this, casting a spell, basically something like plane shift, maybe not quite, but there's something along those lines. And eventually, it probably takes actually like 10 minutes casting time, but eventually by the end,
awkwardly sitting in the corner.
Yeah. But in the end, as the final, she kind of hits you on the head one more time, gently, but enough where it's like ooh. Then there's like a reverberation of noise that both Hingwis and Helios hear, and then Helios just go like, and you like lurch forward, and then kind of like fall to the ground once again in the normal plane. And Hingwis, you see him just kind of like materialize out of thin air once again.
Holy
Finally! Color! Green!
Roll me a Constitution save, Helios.
Yeah, because I'm gonna like throw up or something.
Yeah. you hold in the vomit. You're like, oh god, but then you're fine.
I was thinking it as a bit. That's funny that she said that.
Yeah, and so she kind of nods and gives a smile, and then motions for you to take a seat. She will hand you a jug of like water or something.
Take a seat,
yeah,
Master Skywalker.
I see you're finally awake.
Wait.
And so she looks at you. She's like, now that you're here, well, I suppose I should introduce myself. And now she's speaking in like the common human tongue of this area, so that both of you can understand. She's like, my name is. Hold on, where is it? I have it here. I literally have it here. Where did I put it? Bila. My name is Bila. Yeah, like that. Like, yeah. Like
There's a bee.
I said like that, but I was muted, but you got it.
No, you
So
got it. So she's like, she would say, my name is Bila. And
Hi, my name is Helios.
I'm sorry
You know that.
I'm sorry to spring this on you. I don't mean to spring upon you a large... Well, let's just say let's start from the beginning a little bit. Our people are not from this area. Our clan is not from this area. We're from the north.
That's funny.
A couple 100 miles from here. From near the town, the dwarven stronghold of Sarnabruna. We've fought with the dwarves for hundreds of years, just like we've fought with humans, elves. But we tend to keep to ourselves, and the dwarves generally left us to ourselves. Sometimes our chieftains would send out raids against towns, but we were not nearly as brutal as the dwarves themselves.
Been on the receiving end, yeah.
But apparently, the dwarven bastards had a change of heart recently. They fell upon us with an army, at least 1,000 strong. Our clan, at our peak, had maybe 200. And though you see dozens of our strongest warriors here, we lost dozens in their attack. Our chieftain was killed, and so was his son. and thus I lead our clan for now.
Damn, that sucks. No.
Yeah.
That's rough, buddy.
I'm taking notes for a song. Yeah, it's good. It's good. No.
We had to leave that area that we had long called home because we know the dwarves would try to exterminate us if we stayed. The remnants of our clan are here now. And though we don't... What are your plans?
Well,
in your town? We've seen it.
You'll be happy to know that we're not friends with the dwarves either. I don't know how much you know about us.
Yeah, our main goal is actually kind of to fuck
Yeah.
them up. From what I hear.
Your mic cut off at our goal is kind of to fuck and then went silent.
It's true.
So I'm gonna need you to repeat that.
Yeah.
No, from what I gather, maybe not our main goal, but like fucking up the dwarves is definitely one of the next couple steps in our plan.
And so I cut you off there at the end. What were you saying about what you know about us currently?
Do you... And what are your thoughts of Purbach?
Give like a look. I mean, he was cool to work with, and then we're kind of our own thing now. Now give like the offhanded like kind of with you guys maybe question mark.
Do you know?
Nothing, man.
Yeah.
Do you know about the nature of magic? She is looking at both of you.
Is that a book? I don't know.
What? Like I feel a natural magic. I don't know much about it.
I do feel like off right now after the magic, but that's about.
She nods.
Bruno
She's
Mars
like,
wrote a song about it.
You both clearly have some affinity for the natural magics that flow through these lands.
They did also just try to kill me, but that's part of the deal.
The magics did not try to do anything. The flow
Fair
of
point.
magic dictated it. Your friend here, and she motions to Hingwis, I sense a much stronger flow of the natural magic through him, and he surely understands that the magic may be chaos, but it has no ill intent on its own.
Yeah, I did poke it.
I wish to show you something. She goes over, and you see that there's a little fire in this tent, right? And she has like a bunch of like crafting materials, like like herbalist type stuff, right? She goes over, and there is like a pot that was on the kind of above the flame, and she takes off the lid, and it's just boiling water. But
damn, this is nice.
she goes over to like her herb and spice rack, starts grabbing a bunch of things, and then she very carefully she picks up a vial that inside of it has strands of some plant. She very carefully opens this and literally goes and grabs like tweezers.
Is that a weed?
She literally goes and grabs tweezers and carefully plucks out 2 strands of this. Puts this, as well as the other herbs, in the pot. Stirs it up for a few minutes. All this without saying anything.
Evil cackles.
After a few minutes, she nods, says it is ready, takes the pot, pours it into 2 cups, and comes over and sits down. And she holds these cups out to you guys and says, it is tea that will show you the nature of magic.
Well, where are we?
The mountains of the Azure Range.
When in the mountains of the Azure Range, and then chug it.
And you
might
both
wonder what real life analog this could have.
yes. So you both chug the tea, and all of a sudden you're transported out of your bodies.
Nothing to do there.
And you see a vision. What you see is a vision of a globe, the whole planet.
Ugh.
And you see a shimmering...
It's not flat!
You see...
Poetry injecting politics into my D&D game.
Yeah, and you see...
What dynasty?
You see a shimmering golden dome covering about a third of the planet. A large dome. But then you start to see gaps in it. Gaps in the ozone layer. You start to see... You see shimmering gaps and holes in this golden dome. Then you see visions of a ship passing through the rough seas. Passing through a
Hey, I know
gap.
that guy!
Passing through a gap in the golden wall, the barrier. This is the first time that either of you have ever seen the barrier in any form. But it's shimmering gold, like a semi-transparent, glimmering gold wall of light. And you see it stretching as far as the eye can see in either direction when you're at sea level here. And you see a ship passing through a gap that is like shimmering with like a jagged, ragged edge. And you also see your vision shifts again, and you see even more holes appearing. Then it shifts again, and you see war. Not just any war, but apocalyptic war. Tens of thousands of Boarman warriors marching with banners held high, and Kurbak towering above them. Taller than he is now, more ferocious looking than he is now, marching with an army of 10,000 strong Boarmen. You see a coalition of dwarves, elves, humans. You see a city that you've never seen before in the distance.
San Francisco.
You see war galleys on a sea unloading troops from this coalition. War galleys that you actually do kind of recognize because they look like the war galleys that Talvo used to tell you about, the massive war galley fleets of his home country.
Are the Boarmen and the humans and everybody else on the same side of the battlefield?
No, everyone is aligned against the Boarmen.
Okay.
Ooh, that's not good.
And you see them marching towards each other. Then your vision skips forward again, and now it's the aftermath, the battlefield. Carnage everywhere. Crows and vultures picking at the corpses of tens of thousands of men, elves, boarmen, dwarves, halflings, some giants even. But far more humans and elves and dwarves than the boarmen. And blood everywhere. And with that, your vision goes... and you get, like, flung back into your body. And she looks at you guys and says... Well, she just waits, actually. She wouldn't say anything. She would just look at you.
So we're in a fishbowl?
Was that...
I have another.
Is that the future?
A potential future. Do you know what
Okay.
that's... Do you know what that's...
So if we add more cinnamon, does it make a different future?
Do you know what that city was?
I don't know a lot of cities.
I'm gonna guess it's one that the omnipotent god speaking for you has to come up with a name for.
No, I actually have a name. I just gotta look for it here. Hold on.
Be like, well, so I probably don't know a lot beyond that the south, the easter. So it'd be like, it's not around us.
Give me a second. I'm sorry. She would nod.
Fargo?
She would nod and she'd say, "You are correct. That city is one called Monteverdi."
Like the cheese.
And not that its name matters.
And it's right here. It's this one.
The thing of note, the reason that city matters is because that city is beyond the barrier.
I lied.
I have never been there. So how do I know of its name?
One of the holes? Oh, so are those holes just like there? Like, is there like... Apparently...
She nods and she's like...
Switch cheese.
She nods, actually. She says, "How did your friend Talvo reach these lands?"
Well, I knew that, but I thought that was maybe like it just accidentally happened. They got lucky. Like, they're still there?
I guess they did get lucky.
For hundreds of years, there have been the occasional wanderer from beyond the sea who's made it through. The spell that created the barrier was created by the purple dragon. An immensely powerful
Did I know that
being.
beforehand?
I think that you guys had kind of figured it
I
out.
can't remember.
It was created by an immensely powerful being. But there are limits to magic, and, well, the very same magic that flows through you and me is the same magic that holds the barrier up. And even though the barrier splits apart this half of the world from the other half, the flow of magic finds ways through. Even an immensely powerful being, such as the Great Purple Dragon, their magic has a limit, and the hundreds of years that have passed have left it decayed. Magic wants to find a way through. Magic itself wants to reconnect with the rest of the world.
Okay. I'm seeing the end game here.
And what before might have been a once in 100 years chance to reach through the barrier is now once a month, once every couple of months, every moon, and maybe eventually the barrier will cease to exist.
And Kerbach is gonna go through it. I don't know if that was whatever you put in the cheat for that one.
She kind of like looks at you like hesitantly, and she's like, "And what would you do if that came to pass? If the future that was just revealed to you?"
Well, I don't know if I'd be standing in that group.
Not ideal.
No.
If he's invading out there, that means he's probably got all the power he wants here.
Yeah.
He
looks taller. I don't know if you've seen the same vision.
Do you know that the giants, their gods are dead?
Wait, really? Because I know one. He still believes like pretty hard.
Yeah, he definitely would. She looks at you and she's like, "They died 1,000 years ago when the barrier."
Fucking Hingwis has to go home and tell his dad Santa's not real.
They died 1,000 years ago when the barrier was erected. They were supplanted by their own kin, by human gods who took their place in their pantheon. And the giants of the other part of the world, I hear the flow of magic brings me whispers from the other side of the world. Things are not so disconnected now as they once were. And I hear whispers of the northern gods who supplanted the giants. But the giants here know not of that. Few very few can feel the connections of magic like I can.
Did you happen to hear a tale of anybody, like, say, like a group of, like, 3 to 5 people that brought down the sun into a small town?
Or perhaps like I 1v1 to God and won.
Well, I mean, we just heard that story. So.
Yeah, true.
She would then kind of continue. She'd pause and she's like, it may seem like I'm rambling, but why do you think the giant gods died?
Not like tired? No, I got bored.
The dragon? The purple dragon? Got them?
No. How do gods get their power?
By taking...
Batteries.
Oh, battery.
Belief. Wouldn't it be?
The thing, the T.
She nods, she's like, their believers grant them strength. Faith.
Oh, I thought you
makes a
said
god.
leaf.
Faith makes a god strong. And you know what that half of the world has in abundance?
Leaves.
Boarman looking for a leader.
What?
They've literally made him a god.
Huh.
I would not call him a god, but I will never call him my god. But
Okay, so we're on the same...
If enough people believe it, it becomes reality.
So if I become a big enough rock star, I can challenge Kerbok.
She chuckles.
You're gonna Taylor Swift him?
I'm gonna Taylor Swift Kerbok's army.
Yeah, dude, in
Out
real
of the
life,
universe.
Taylor Swift would be a huge deity by now.
I endorse Helios for God.
I have laughed, but that would be really funny.
She looks at you. She's
Because like you have a lot of people who like know my name and shit. Like,
she
hold
does
on, this is
chuckle
why
at
this
you.
explains the power rise.
Well, they have to also literally worship you as a god,
No.
though. You know, so. But she
I'm in
looks-
the next performance into like
Getting
who thinks I'm a
Swifties.
god.
Getting Swifties.
We do have a guy with the emblem of a god who people do like to follow.
So you're telling me that if my cult gets too big, I will literally
We're
get
all
taller.
just gonna become gods at the end of this campaign.
I will become. I will
I
grow
mean,
several
it's
inches.
possible.
Uh-oh.
So she, so either way, she kind of looks at you. She's like, she says, "I said," she would say, "I'm telling you all this because even if Kurbak is a god, we would much rather keep to our ways and not worship him. However, we need to find a new place to call home.
Well,
And
it's
this is
funny,
why
actually.
I have shown you this, because I wish to know, would we be safe from Kurbak if we joined your town?
Temporarily, yes. In the with more leaf juice, I don't know. Later on, but
Yes, we can do. If the future is going to be that he creates an army of Boarman to just conquer and do it as he sees fit, then I think protection against him would be required. Yes, safety would be a nigh guarantee.
now we are right next to the dwarves, so just a heads up.
She nods and says, "That's exactly why we wish to join forces with you. We want to make the dwarves pay. We will raid their caravans as long as there is life blood in our bodies. We will destroy those who destroyed us. And we will help you if you help us."
Welcome to Ruliger.
She nods and she'll shake your
I'm
hand.
gonna have to get our accountant to sign off on it. Just as a heads up.
She-
here.
she
I'm not
I
the
need to get this
diplomat.
notarized.
I'm not the diplomat.
She nods. She nods, and she'll literally tell. She's like, "I understand that you are a group.
If you
and,
know me, I assume you know the rest of us.
we have heard of your deeds, and
Okay.
I will say, our clan, we have many able-bodied warriors. Some of them are not accustomed to living with. And she kind of head motions to Hingwis. Non-Boarman.
We're working on it.
There will be some
Lesser-
adjustments.
We have classes.
Classes. Really educates you. Don't worry.
Yeah, but she would say, like, there will be some adjustment.
I'm playing on the word.
But our Boarman, we are not so isolated to think that we can last forever like we have been. Change is needed, and we will compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's touch of chaos.
Then welcome aboard.
At this point, Adau, at this point, you basically have just finished attuning to the crystal ball, and you scry on one of them, and you see Helios literally shaking hands with a random boar woman shaman in like a war tent, and you're like, "What the fuck did I miss?" Funny thing is,
I will actually say that out loud, but I unintentionally send it because I don't realize I'm using the crystal ball.
I was gonna say, how does this scrying work?
I mean, I
it's
do,
we,
but
do
I-
we
you know.
choose to fail or whatever? Like,
there's
how does
an invisible sensor. You could choose to fail if you.
because
know
like
that
clearly,
it's-
if she
Yeah.
can see, like, if she can see me and the
Well, that's what I was gonna say,
ish
is-
plane.
The funny thing is, her eye immediately turns up and looks at the sensor. So even though it's invisible, she
Do
can see
we
it.
do we know? Like, I don't think we've been on the receiving end of a scribe before. Do we? Oh, we have been. So do we know it's like Adau?
You wouldn't-
Is like
you
his like
can't see it,
ringtone?
only she
You'll know
can,
it's
yeah.
casting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but she looks and sees it, and Adau, you see that she sees it. She says, "Does one of your friends have a crystal ball?"
I'll
Yes!
say yes.
Okay, he found us.
And, yeah, so-
Yes.
and she looked like she was a little
I was
concerned,
like,
like
no?
she was about to start casting Dispel Magic, but then she's like, "Oh, okay." And she calms down. She's like, "Ah, well, then I think he or she is watching us."
Nice.
Adau. I was like, wait for the ceiling.
He's meant to be underground, but I mean, I guess I'm glad he found his way out and is no longer ethereal.
Yeah. And so at this point,
Cool eye, by the way.
she actually turns to the sensor, and she says, "Well, Adau, if you and your companions would be willing to come here, we're on the other side of the mountain from you, not far. You'll see our camp."
Don't go underground and touch any purple shit.
As in, like this way,
Don't
on
do
the
it.
other side of this mountain tile, or
No, it's not even that far. It's just
No, we
like
did not. We did
over-
not walk.
Okay.
It's just
50
over
miles.
like a single ridge line. And then, yeah,
true, good point. All right, fair enough.
yeah.
The fact that they were right there is
And
like,
yeah,
pretty
she
good.
says basically, if you'd be willing to join us, then I would love to meet you as well.
They're chill. They want to kill Kerbach, sort of.
Bro, you can't say that. They're listening.
So Adau, would Adau wake up Bree and Talvo? And
I mean, it's dawn now.
yeah, it's like dawn at this point.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's like,
guess
keep
I
Bree
guess I
away
don't
from the
need to
cave
sleep.
at
I
all
just
costs.
tranced, so I mean, I'm not tired. So yeah, sure. I guess I'll wake them up.
Do you tell Bree about the purple orb?
Bree, if
not.
Bree is told about the purple orb, she will touch it. It's like the telltale at the top of the screen letting you know.
yeah.
I say, so Bree, there's this purple orb.
Bottom of the cave. If you find it, it's yours.
It's like the road runner, like Bree's like, oh god, I must reach.
SCP-096, except the orb.
Yeah.
Anyway, oh true. Someone will find it.
Yeah.
Fine.
So, yeah.
it is
I'm
still
assuming
there.
you just tell Talvo and Bree, like, we gotta go to the other two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, it
like
would-
Adau like knocks on Talbot's door. And he's like already dressed. Like the fucking pig's in trouble, isn't he? I've been up for like 2
You can just
hours.
tell by the tone of the
pig-
knock, like,
Hey.
Yeah. The pig was in trouble. Not anymore though.
yeah. So yeah, you guys would take. It doesn't actually take that long. When you do get like over the top of the ridge line, you do kind of see like you do find the camp, but they are actually fairly well hidden. Like they know how to kind of blend in like the forest because they're used to living in these sorts of forested mountainsides. So You are like a little surprised that Bree's birds didn't like warn you, but to be fair, they're not in the same like valley or like basin as the like Rologur, and they weren't like near the road. So, yeah, you know.
I don't know. Lucky they were friendly this time. I don't like people rolling up on this.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, they it sounds like they were watching you guys from very far, but not really like, you know, they weren't really like approaching yet. So. They either way, you guys can make it down there. It takes like an hour or so. It's breakfast time when you get there, and as you enter the camp, she would her and Helios and Hingwis would greet you at the entrance to the camp. At this point, the Boarmen are all up and about doing stuff, and they definitely give you some looks of like kind of like they're not so sure about this. A lot of them, but she welcomes you in, introduces herself to you guys, and even like motions to where you can get some breakfast and has some breakfast served to you guys.
Brekkie!
Yeah. And and she would kind of go over all the same stuff. She wouldn't necessarily, she's not going to give you guys all tea. You guys don't get your own special visions, but I imagine Helios. Or
you gotta try it.
I was gonna say Helios is probably like gushing about, like, oh god, I had this vision. I saw like a huge battlefield, all this stuff. Yeah.
I saw you. I look at Talvo, and then
I saw you.
you.
No, don't listen to him. He's just making stuff up. He's lying about some tea or something. I don't know.
But yeah, so you guys would sit down. And
we're gonna have a talk later, Helios.
I unearthed the next arc of the camp.
After or over breakfast, she would kind of explain the plight of the clan here. She would tell you the clan was about a couple hundred strong before they were attacked by the dwarves, and then the dwarves in the initial battle killed like at least 50 of their clan, including their chieftain and the chieftain's son. So they basically were running away, like, you know, they basically packed up their stuff and left. They had like a permanent town that was just completely overrun by the dwarves. And then like 50 more were picked off or split off from the group and captured on the way. Like they were harassed the whole while by the dwarves till they made it to here, basically. So she would let you know that like they're about 100 strong now, and but more than half of them are capable Boarman warriors, and you know, you guys have seen Boarman warriors in action several times at this point, and these are strong stock. They are. This is certainly not a group you want to be up against. You know, so. But yeah, so she would explain the plight of the clan and tell you, like, basically, until a new chieftain is decided, she's the leader, and she's decided that they should join you all, if you would have them. And you've heard the rest, so.
I say yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
Do we have an official, like, notarizer here?
That would be me.
Yeah, I mean, you could have brought what's his face, Shaska. Yeah, he literally is a diplomat, like, so.
Oh.
You could have brought him too if you wanted, and he could like write something up even. But
no, I feel like if anything, we would have brought some Boarmen with us.
yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, yeah, because you do
maybe,
have a good 20, 30, 40 Boarmen with you already. So, yeah, that's fair. Maybe you would have brought.
Let us unite the bloodlines.
Yeah, you might have brought Shot, because Shot is a shaman, yeah. like she is. They're a bit a different type, right? But still, he's more like a priest of the order of Kurbak. You can tell, by the way, that like he's not super happy with the idea that, because she kind of explicitly asked, like, we're not going to side with Kurbak, right? And Shot is kind of grinding his teeth. He's like, there's definitely some tension. Like, from the few, you probably bring a couple of the Boarmen with you, like you're saying. There's some tension, though. The Boarmen of your group can, like, it's very clear, the vibe you're getting is that the Boarmen of your group that are from Kurbak City and Kurbak's Empire, right? They're kind of looking at these guys like they're a bunch of hillbillies. They're like, look at these guys just up in the hills, not in a city ruling. And then the ones in the camp here are like, look at these city slickers. Like, they wouldn't last a minute in the wilderness like our people have always lived, right?
Singing
That's the
song and
vibe.
meeting the people.
That's the vibe you're getting. So
And angry about it.
Soft.
yeah, so like having the Boarman definitely helps in that the sense that like they realize that you have Boarman at least, but also there's a little attention. So
Yeah, I would expect as much.
Yeah,
I mean, we're
we
basically
have
saying, hey
Boarman
guys,
friends.
yeah, we and Boarman friends. You guys might be heretics to them, but like whatever.
No.
Yeah.
You know?
Anyway.
So in the end though, they would say basically what they're offering is that they're not going to come and like live in the town proper, but they'll probably live outside the walls of the town of Roliger. Like set up a kind of permanent camp, and then if it comes to being attacked by the dwarves, they'll come inside the walls or whatever. But they want to kind of stay a little separated so that they can kind of have their own traditions. But they want to help protect the town and use it as a base of operations. So.
Yes, and they also like the prospect of having Ice Blick, I'm sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they basically are offering to kind of help make it a steadier, more safe place in return for help with equipment, help with organizing raids against the dwarves, So.
Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, it sounds like you guys are on board then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, yeah.
At least.
Okay.
Our Boarman may not be on board, but
Yeah.
board.
In the end, the
Cry about
Boarmen that are with you, like shot, like he's not super happy because he does kind of view them as heretics, but he does trust your guys' judgment. He's like, he's basically like, I can live with it for now, So,
You better.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely not a plan for them to aid us in overthrowing Korbach at some point.
No, never.
that's
Never.
So
You guys should drink
as this meeting is kind of wrapping up, there's a war horn goes off, and and she kind of like stands up quickly. She says, and she says, she would say like this was a raiding party has returned, or scouting party, but that horn means that they have found trouble. And so she quickly goes out of the tent, and like if you guys follow her, you will see that there is indeed about a dozen Boarmen of this clan returning, like walking into the camp. And you see that one of them literally has a rope with half a dozen dwarven heads severed and tied from their beards, actually tied. I
like your
on
taste
this
in
rope.
jewelry.
So they literally have a rope with a bunch of dwarven heads, trophies from clearly what just happened to be a raid just now. And it's very clear that they found like a dwarven
They just found those heads,
caravan. And the dwarves clearly did not stand a chance against this dozen Boarman warriors. And there's like kind of cheers from the Boarman in the area, like yes, and they start chanting in Boarman, like kill all dwarves, like they're getting a little into it.
I don't know but I chant with it.
No, it probably wouldn't.
I made that mistake with the dwarves.
It probably wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be that on the nose. It'd be more like wipe out the Vargoons, something like that, because that's their enemy. So so as they're kind of like chanting this, you do see though that like the last Boarman of this group is kind of leading a group in, tied to ropes, and it's a group of slaves, freed slaves. Freed, they're still kind of shackled together, but it's clear the Boarmen haven't like attacked them or anything. It seems like the Boarmen basically just don't know what to do with them. And as this group kind of comes forward, Bila kind of looks at you all and says, I know that you care not for slaving, I've heard of your deeds of freeing slaves.
That's one way to put it.
That's an understatement.
She
for
nods
sure.
and she calls out and like orders them like immediately release them, and the Boarman do. They drop the leads. These prisoners, these slaves, are terrified, like completely fucking mortified because they were with dwarves. Now they're with like a clan of Boarmans.
Yeah,
and, like,
and I'm sure they've heard stories.
Exactly, yeah. So they don't move. They did like huddle together, and then all of a sudden, so like the Boarmen leave them alone because they were told to, and you guys can go over and start talking to them. But before you do, all of a sudden there's a cry out. A call out before you can really talk anymore about this situation. It's like, Talvo! Talvo! And stumbling forward through the crowd of slaves here is a ragged figure over like kind of like grown out hair and like a haggard expression, an older guy in his like 50s or so. Stumbles forward. He's clearly malnourished. And he kind of stumbles forward. And he's calling out in your language, Talvo, like from your homeland. Which is, like, no one else speaks here.
So
I guess he's just saying your name.
as he's pointing
I guess he's just saying your name, but then he would say, like, is it really you? Or something like that, right? And he literally stumbles forward, like his chains have been taken off, but his hands are clearly, like, weakened. And he's like, ugh. He literally falls on the ground. And you recognize him. It takes you a second, though. You recognize that this was your father's personal friend and navigator. A long family friend. Who was the chief navigator. Whenever your father went out on the merchant ships on his own, like when he ever actually went out and did business on the ships in person, traveled and wherever, this man was his navigator. He actually isn't from your country originally. He's from a different one in the Middle Sea, right? The Mediterranean equivalent. He's from like the Iberia equivalent, actually. And his name is Jordi de Coraixó. It takes you a second to realize him, because he's changed. And it's been just, like, several years. But you see him, and he is, like, clearly just shocked to see you.
I'll try to read
just
how
shocked to see him.
Yeah,
do you, like, go and help him up? Because he literally stumbled to the ground.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I would immediately just kind of like jump forward and pick him up.
Okay, Talvo likes this guy.
And just be like,
All right.
well, it's there's mixed feelings, but
Yeah.
he was probably like one of my caretakers growing
Exactly.
up.
Yeah.
He
He like taught you kind of how to navigate and stuff. Like he would have, he wasn't like a personal tutor, but he, like whenever you went with your dad on business, he would have been like, "Here's how you look at where the stars to tell where you are. Like here's how you do this." You know?
And this is how we know the Earth is round.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so he like.
I just found that out today.
And yeah, so he's definitely, as you kind of pick him up off the ground, he is just openly crying, tears streaming down his face, and he literally kind of clasps your head, like feels your face, not because he's blind or anything, but he just can't, because he can't believe that he's like seeing you. And he's like, Talvo,
yeah, of course.
Talvo, your father, he's here. Not. He came with me. Well, I came with him. We didn't know if you were alive. If you made it through the barrier.
Oh, I didn't. I'm dead now.
We're actually all dead. Welcome to hell.
You actually died in that raid.
But he's like, Talvo, I have so much to tell you. And then he literally just kind of passes out from exhaustion. Like, he's just like, ugh.
I'm gonna guess he said, "I have so much to tell you," and then fell over.
And I think that is where we will wrap up for today's session.
You welcome. That's all I'll say. I reunited you with
No, we gotta have a fucking talk, Helios.
Yeah, it was definitely Helios.
Let's recount what happened here, okay? You wandered off the castle in the middle of the night by yourself, went on a big, scary, mysterious purple object, and instead of like telling anybody about it or like getting the group together, like, fuck it, I'm gonna cast a spell at it.
I cast a
You got
spell.
sent to the
yeah.
goddamn Shadow Realm. You drug poor innocent Hingwis
He
into
followed
your
me.
dumb little plant.
He followed me.
He doesn't know any better. He's been like a cocoon for 2 years. Basically a child mentally.
Yeah, Hingwis, you're basically a child.
You're wandering around. You're wandering around underground for hours before he curse you. Oh, hey, maybe I should tell Adau I'm down here or something. I don't know.
I was
and
scared.
then you finally you somehow miraculously make it out, and the first thing you do is you take drugs from a stranger.
It was tea, and I was following
It
the
was
flow
tea, it
of
was
the
tea.
Drugs are drugs.
It was
The most
psychedelic
powerful
tea.
way to take
Yeah.
Drugs.
Listen, you don't understand, man. I saw so much shit. The world is round.
You know what's funny is that the psychedelic tea was because I brought that back because that was the thing in the other campaign. The last
recipe
campaign
trickled
with the other group, and one of the players got obsessed with it. And every single time they were in a city, he looked in the apothecaries for the psychedelic tea.
Oh, you
Like,
better
his
believe
character
I'm doing that
His
now.
character became
He
like a
was brought this
psychedelic tea addict.
I don't need the
Oh.
dwarven fire whiskey unless you combine it.
Yeah.
What if you put the leaves in the whiskey?
Oh man. But yeah. Anyways,
Where was this
Well,
energy when Bree and
Oh.
Adau walked into the underground and fought like the fucking sun rat or whatever? The
sun
rat
rat.
from the walls.
Oh, that's true.
I
Well,
knew
we
it.
had a delicious
We
lunch
got
together.
something out of that. We got the elephant out of that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They had an
The marble
elephant.
statue.
Oh yeah,
I found your
the
friend, your dad's friend.
so useful every time we've used it.
Hey,
It's been funny.
it's been useful at
and
least
that's-
twice.
Yeah.
It's been good
Plus,
with
it's
that
cool.
tanking damage, you know.
Yeah, it should. I mean, they should definitely like. I mean, I don't know. Doesn't it? It has an ability to make you do a wisdom save or be frightened, right? The elephant?
I mean, I guess a lot of people don't know what an elephant is here, so yeah.
I don't know if it does. If elephants do inherently. I was asking
Does this
about
mean that
that,
Bree
but I
can
do think it would make
On an
sense
elephant still?
because the elephants. I mean, they had an effect on Roman morale, and Romans were only a couple hundred miles away from their natural habitat.
Yeah.
You definitely need to be dropping elephants off the castle on people, I think.
Yeah, it worked for the elves.
So,
Off the castle.
We missed every elk except one, and it took out half a building with it.
Exactly. So imagine if that hit something.
oh yeah, I don't think Logan knows about the airdropped elks that were turned into live bombs.
What?
Yeah.
They literally dropped elks.
There's no way to sugarcoat
They
that
tried
one.
to drop
You
them
just
on
did
a
that.
dragon, right? It was on Casaria.
Yeah, it was Casaria.
They tried to drop elks, like giant elks, like 15-foot tall elks, onto a dragon as a weapon. And
From
then,
like
and then,
200 feet in the air.
and then they all missed,
work.
and went like flunk, boom, boom, and just splatted onto the ground. Like,
They were spirits.
Imagine dropping a car onto a medieval building.
yeah.
Where's the
Yeah, Bree was just on the castle, like conjuring fey creatures.
Yeah.
But in the middle of the
Yeah,
air.
luckily they weren't like actual. It's not like it was
Yeah.
actual elks taken from.
They weren't
random
elk, y'all were
places.
killing Fae. Okay, never mind. This is good.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah,
yeah,
it-
they
well, they
come
weren't
into
even
existence,
killed.
fell, poofed
Yeah.
away, and then
Yeah,
they'll probably
it's-
come back again.
Yeah, it's just that fey creatures were stuffed into magically created bodies, dropped, immediately left the body because it died, and we're like, what the fuck was that? And then they go back to wherever they were.
And then again, isn't that right, Casaria? Because we just explained that all out loud in front of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, Kasari, I remember that. You know, you would have died faster if those elk had hit you.
Yeah. So,
But
yeah.
we are, remember, the most important thing is we are the good guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, though, a little more of a laid-back RP session, but, some stuff developing.
I was really hoping for combat. I wanted to play with my new toys.
Oh, yeah, there'll be
You can play with Aya on the castle while we go off an adventure.
Monka.
Well, so I guess, I think that'll do it for this week. And then, yeah, I should be good until, well, I don't know. I don't have any more. Oh, I might actually be busy next week, but I think I should be back. I have a little, like, day trip, but I think I should be back in time, so.
I don't know of any. I mean, September 8th, I won't be here.
Okay, that's a ways away. So
But-
that's fine, yeah.
That's a long ways away.
I might be on an airplane when we are trying to do this next Sunday. I don't
Okay.
know entirely when I return home.
Yeah, just let us know. and
Do it from the
then,
playlist. Just dial in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so regardless, we'll see what happens with Talvo's old family friend and everything else when we come back. So I'm probably gonna be streaming Elden Ring soon. I might actually even just keep the stream going, honestly.
It's fair.
Can't hurt.
Yeah. So I'll probably take like a 30-minute break and then go do some stuff and then
Just have the starting screen.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll probably just leave the stream going though. But that'll be it for D&D. So thanks for hanging out, everyone, and we'll see everyone next time.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye bye.
Later.